Hello.
Hi,
Happy Wednesday to you.
we're back.
Well, that's what that means. Wednesday means we're back. Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We'll be here.
We
Us.
did it.
We did
made it.
The Stream of Blades playing Band of Blades. We're at session number 6. Session 6 of question mark? 8, 9, 10? Somewhere in that range, I'm sure. 6 could be if things go bad tonight. Hi. My name is Rudy Basso. I'm one of the co-owners of Don't Split the Podcast Network. My pronouns are he, him. I am also the commander of this ragtag group of ruffians, making their way east to get the Skydagger Keep, trying to escape the Cinder King, who is not a friendly man. Or undead man? I don't even know. Being? Yeah,
I don't.
guess so.
Yeah, I don't know that you know.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out tonight with some of those intel questions we have. And who's that? Our game master. Hi, Shane. Tell me about yourself.
I am Shane. I am one of the hosts of the Total Party Thrill podcast. My pronouns are he, him, and you can find me on Twitter at Mundangerous. And I run this here shindig.
Nice. You run the shindig.
I play everybody but you guys.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Let's go with Amber. Oh, you're in a different location, Amber. Where are you? Oh God. Of course.
Yeah.
Amber just froze. All right, are you back? Okay. No. Oh, geez. Wow. Amber is on a work trip at a hotel, and the internet was literally fine up until we went live.
Till we talked at her.
Yeah.
Am I
Amber,
still
hello?
not? Is it still not?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I'm back. Hi.
Okay.
So I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, in a hotel that has terrible internet right now for a work conference. So am I okay now?
Yeah,
it's
I
all
think so.
happening? Okay, great. So I'm Amber. She, her pronouns, and I am a co-owner of the Geekspective podcast network, and I am the quartermaster for this group.
Nice. Master of the quarter. Yeah. How about you over there? Sally, hi, hello. How's it going?
Hey, Rudy. It's going all right. My name is Sally. She, her pronouns. I am on Twitter at Sally T, and I'm the co-host of the Struggle Bus podcast. It's pretty fun. It's an advice show. New episode coming out tomorrow. So get into it.
Couple days late this week, Sally. You ruined up my. Oh wait, no, it's not. I'm just bad at timing.
Shane.
Never mind.
Shane.
I was gonna say you ruined my week, and then I was.
I'm gonna unruin it. We trade podcasts on Thursdays.
Take this out in post, please, everybody.
Yeah, cool. Post your mind. Finally, another podcast comes out tomorrow, and it comes from you.
If I finish it tonight, that
Oh.
will. Hey, I-Hsien, he, him. I am the other host of Total Party Thrill. You can find me on Twitter at Evil Sense Carne. That's malice minus meat. And yeah, I'm playing the good old spy master. I run the spies.
Nice.
And there are many. They are legion, as we are. Yes, a new episode will drop tomorrow, and then I don't know. Listen to Struggle Bus first, and then listen to ours to come down.
Ours is up at like dawn, and yours is up like
6:03 a.m. Eastern
okay,
time.
so yeah, or you can like listen to a few minutes of us, then a couple minutes of you
bounce back
guys.
and forth.
Oh,
That's a
segment
great
by
idea.
segment. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that crossover event. Okay, so Shane, why don't you take it
Ooh,
away?
we should do a crossover
Yeah,
episode.
we actually should. That'd be
That would be
amazing.
terrifying
That
for
is
all of our listeners.
a good idea. Everyone who listens to both podcasts will hate it. I will love it.
All 4 of them.
Shane, if you could give a quicksy recap of what happened last week and where we, the Legion, are now.
Yeah, so last week you were in a massive refugee camp outside of the walled city of Westlake. You had sent the Countess along ahead a while ago, and you finally met back up with her, and she was unable to obtain entrance into the city proper for the Legion, so you were forced to camp outside. So bristling about that, the commander sent the Silver Stags on an infiltration mission into the city illegally to find some leverage on some council members, gather some intel, and maybe expedite the process to get in. This mission was led by Arun the Sniper, and that was Operation Flying Citadel, which ultimately was a success. 2 rookies perished in the effort, but 1 veteran soldier emerged. At the same time, the Countess identified a noble in need of an escort for her daughter to recover some heirlooms from their country manor, and Operation Broken Tiger began. The manor had become the base of operations for a small, somewhat lazy, lackadaisical, poor mission operational security band of Black Oak Knights. And under the cover of a storm, the Shattered Lions, under Red Raging and Azure's command, struck them hard and fast and eliminated them to a man. Most disturbingly, you faced Heartless for the first time. These are the terrifying elite units of Render's army that are fallen Knights of the Black Oak who have been pumped full of Cinder blood, that is, the Cinder King's blood, and had their hearts removed from their chest. So they grow to kind of massive proportions. They wield nasty, just wicked-looking weapons. They proudly wear no chest plate in their otherwise heavily armored frames, because they show off the fact that they have no heart.
Same.
Yeah, squad goals. Fortunately, that job paid well, and the noble was able to fully resupply the company, giving you some much-needed resources at your disposal. You were running pretty bare by the time you had gotten to Westlake. Meanwhile, back in Westlake, the Legion has been stymied at the gates, and Commander Greymane and the Countess put their heads together. With Ash and Mal's input, they decided it was best to simply pay a premium and acquire boats outside of Westlake without going into the city. Something of like like some fishing boats, or maybe some smugglers, willing to take a job off the books. And they were able to get passage across the lake without having to bother entering the city. And you sailed to Eastlake, sort of their rival on the water. And with a couple days of relatively uneventful sailing, you were also able to rest and recuperate, heal some of the mounting injuries to the Legionnaires, just generally kind of get back in the game. And on the horizon, the city of Eastlake looms. And so some of the things that you know about Eastlake, because you have marched, across Aldermark before, you know that Eastlake and Westlake are sort of rivals. Westlake kind of is the mercantile, the more mercantile city, right? Like, they think that by getting, amassing wealth and building temples, that they are showing their devotion, whereas Eastlakers sort of believe in the church themselves. They actually have a ruling council called the Anointed. They are entirely made up of religious clergy. The mayor of the city is in fact a deacon. It has been actually, they trade, whereas Westlake was more dealing with agricultural goods coming out of the Aldermani breadbasket. Eastlake focused more on taking goods in from the Eastern kingdoms, right? So they had strong relationships with Panyar, sort of off to the east, the forest. They also had good relationships with the Orites. And actually in the center of town is a giant like clock tower constructed in the Orite fashion that was a gift to the city by the Orites. Yeah. So that's one thing that definitely stands out as you go in. So we talked last time, like, Westlake was basically the eastern limit of how far the Cinder King's armies marched before the Eastern army was able to turn them back. So Eastlake has never faced anything. They've never seen the dead, right? They know they exist, but they've never made it that far east. So they kind of don't know what they're in for. Like, mercenaries are coming through, the army is coming through, refugees are coming through, but they're sort of ill-prepared. They have a wall around the city, but like, they're more of a religious city. They don't really like bunker up. It's kind of more for show. Like, it's ornamental, more so than military. So they're like rapidly
ornamental walls, huh?
Yeah. What is that a problem for you?
No, it seems
We're not defending the city, so.
So they're like kind of scrambling now, right? Like now that war is coming to them, like they are having to react in a way that they didn't necessarily expect. There's a lot of like nervous tension in the city, and you guys are kind of put off on the docks. Sorry, I have a podcat.
Oh.
Decided to make a presence here. So yeah, so like as you guys are coming out to the docks and sort of starting to disembark your gear off of these boats that you've hired, like you can see like the city is very nice. It has these kind of like cobbled streets. There are like all the windows have little flower boxes in them. Like it's kind of idyllic. Think like a alpine Swiss town, you know, like sort of that kind of thing. There's a lot of activity in the port, and a lot of like just kind of nervous discussion. Like people are talking in the streets. There are like public gatherings where town criers are sort of announcing meetings, and various like clergy are speaking on the steps of their churches and things like that, right? Trying to calm the populace. Like it's a very, very nervous area as you approach.
Do they have an army? Do they have some sort of home guard or anything like that?
They have something of like a town watch, but not like a standing army. No.
Oh man, these guys are fucked. All right, we gotta get out of here before stuff goes down.
Let's see what they got, and then we can go.
Yeah.
I just want to establish that because you said it's like a Swiss alpine town, that Mal, who, as you know, is very stylish, Mal is like really excited to show off like his après ski vibe. So he's really decked out in kind of an alpine leisure and like in like his take on an alpine leisure.
I like it because it's not actually in the mountains. It's just idyllic, like an alpine ski town in the summer.
Well, that's enough for Mal. He likes to. He does like sartorial interpretations.
Okay.
Yeah, he was never going to go
aesthetic.
skiing anyway.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just aesthetics.
Yeah.
He only feels comfortable if he's dressed appropriately.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would like to see a scene with the command staff kind of assembled, and so something that's interesting. If we look at kind of the map, right, that's in the center of the screen, and I think I'm sharing it with you guys. Like you notice that the armies have advanced quite a bit east. The northern road is the armies of the Cinder King have pretty much cut that off now. They're making inroads into the Durkesh forest, and I think probably more concerning to some members of the Legion is that there's clearly a lot of pressure being placed on Panya right now.
Yeah, we're gonna be flanked. We gotta head up, not further east.
Right. And even in like a little bit in the distance, like you can start to see smoke on the horizon. It seems like, Panyar is, or the like Panya forest is burning, or at least starting to.
Sucks.
A moment of silence as we
Bad news.
Is, I believe, the only member of the command staff who is from Panya. Is grimmer than usual. I mean, normally he's gregarious, but of course that hides hidden pain. Yeah, he's unsurprised. Of course, this would happen. We lost the moon 3 years ago. Did we think the forest would be sacred?
I'm generally concerned that our Panyar legionnaires might try and retreat to defend their home.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be an issue, Ash? I know the men have said the words, but I don't know. They do love that forest.
It's true, but I think leaving the Legion to defend what will essentially be a wildfire by the time they get there. I think many of them feel like it would strip them of their third name.
Oh, to betray the Legion?
It would be a heinous act.
Honor comes in many forms, and this time it works in our favor. To the detriment of that beautiful forest of yours. I'm trying to be nice. I don't know how to talk. I'm not from Panya. I'm from the mountains.
You, I don't think you've been to one of our funerals yet. One of our funerals in the forest, but the forest always returns, even after it burns.
Wise words, those.
Yes, it's a very old Pioneer saying.
We
So I
say,
hear.
take all the ore from the mountains because there's only a finite amount. That's what we say.
It flows from the tongue.
Yeah. Well,
in all right.
it sounds better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Zemyati, actually. But I'm sure it sounds beautiful and all right, too. All right. So, how are we doing on horses?
Honestly, we don't have very many left.
Yeah, horses and boats don't usually go hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean,
We had some casualties as we crossed the lakes.
Yeah.
No, but we are low on horses. The morale's not great. Oh, is morale doing okay right
morale's
now?
okay,
Mal?
right?
Okay.
Morale's at 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Not too worried. The
Hmm.
good news is we have the Juicero now.
Oh, yeah.
Juicero.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. Does that go into effect before the first mission?
so that is
It's when we
well, it's when you take
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
liberty action.
Liberty, yeah.
So
The
you won't have a
de-stress.
chance to take the action before the mission. But
Mhm.
Damn.
after the mission, it will definitely go into effect. I gather from seeing your sheets.
Mhm.
I mean, you bring up the Juicero. I would say the Baron of Cakes did
Yes.
mention that Eastlake is a good place to locate another alchemist. So
Oh.
if that is something we can potentially do, then we could begin work again on those armor-piercing black
Yes.
shot.
Oh, yes.
Yes, with how things are going currently, we probably need to work on that.
So we did make a dent in some of those bastard oak knights last mission. Wait, so they're elites. They're heartless. Are they armored undead? Would black powder, find black powder double potency against them? Double damage them?
Heartless are armored undead.
Okay, cool. So that would fuck them up something good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, we continue working on that, definitely. But for now, maybe we should get to another mission. Unless, Shane, do we want to do some more camp talkie?
Yeah, so I think it's been a while since we've seen any real back at camp scenes, right? Like we spent a lot of time with the command staff. But I think we'll cut to maybe a day or two. You guys have settled in on a parade ground that was in the city, right? Like for functions and that type of thing. Probably more recently used for a county fair type event than for a military parade. But either way, you have the Countess has secured your billets there, and I think who is the earliest to rise amongst you?
Amongst the command staff or the entire army?
Amongst the command staff.
I see Mal or Ananika as early risers. Ananika.
Well, Ananika's not command staff; she's just a specialist, right?
Oh, command staff. Sorry. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Mal.
Yeah, is Ash a late sleeper? I feel like Ash is the late sleeper.
He's up all
feel-
night.
I
doing
feel that way, too.
Spy stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Basically, yeah.
He's not waking up until noon.
Plus, it
Okay.
doesn't happen, that early in the morning.
Well, I mean, not until tapers off around 2
Yeah. Mhm.
when the bars close.
It's college hours.
Right. Okay. So, Mal, before you awake, or I mean, before you are normally up, which I'm imagining is probably about a half hour before dawn. That kind of strikes me as
Yeah.
Mal's hour. So that he is always early amongst the men, so that there's always that kind of presence. Sorry, not the men, the troops.
Yeah.
And since I actually 70% of them are women, which is great. So you wake up to a clattering, and it kind of it sounds initially it's like a dull thud and then sort of a ring, And like as you kind of wake up a little groggy, you realize that it's not a ring as much as it is like it's not like a bell or anything like that. It's the sounds of combat. And like as you kind of lie there, with your head probably on a cot, like you realize it is one getting more intense. Like there is a more sound of combat, and then in addition to that, it seems to be getting closer and closer to your tent.
Yikes.
And keep in mind, you guys have not been sleeping well because Stormbreaker has cursed you with nightmares. So Mal, you are awakened in the early hours of the morning, sort of the pre-dawn.
So, okay, well, Mal would jump out of bed, grab his dressing gown, look over. He has like his clothes laid out for the next day always.
Of course.
But I think like things are a little bit too bananas to like take the time to get dressed because it takes him a while to get dressed and look just right. So he's going to run out of his tent, I guess, in his dressing gown and see what's up.
Okay. So you're not grabbing a weapon?
No.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stick with that.
I like this. So Mal kind of runs out of the tent, right, to get a sense of what's going on, and comes upon a scene that is chaotic, but sort of chaotic in the way that like a ballroom dance, like a carefully choreographed dance, is chaotic, because you stumble upon 3 squads of rookies, sort of going after each other.
God damn it!
In heated combat, and you can see there are like amongst them are Grinning Ravens, the Silver Stags, the what's the first one? Why am I blanking on this? The Ember Wolves. Yeah. And they are like, it is sort of like paired off squad, like they're 3 squads sort of one at a time hitting each other. You see like one rookie get knocked into the mud, and then like a sword come down as she rolls out of the way. You see another sword kind of going in towards that legionnaire, and then sort of just out of the like corner of your eye, you duck as a sword swings for your head, that you notice only because of the lit glow of the blade itself. And Zora says, let me get my accent. No time off, Marshal. Up and at them. We cannot wait for the dawn. Sharpen the iron. And like as you she forces you to kind of roll out of the way with another kind of downward stroke, and she is aggressively going after you. She certainly means to hurt you.
Oh, she's trying to duel? Or wait, so are these people fighting, or are they like practicing like combat?
From what you saw, they were
harming each other.
Harm? But they were fully armored and using weapons.
Okay, so Zora's swinging a blade at me, is that what you said?
Yeah, and you're kind of rolling out of the way on the ground.
Okay, so as you know, Mal wears a lot of rings. It's like one of his things as a Bartan. Yep, as a Bartan. And one of them actually, it has like it's a whistle actually, which he uses to like take control of, for example, like impish rookies acting out, but in this case, a chosen who's trying to kill him. So he's gonna blow on the whistle really loud and yell, "What in the name of all the Bartan gods is happening right now?" While also hopefully successfully dodging a blade.
Oh yeah. Okay, so everybody else think about which character would come running at the sound of this whistle. This is all free play, so whoever you would like to play responding to this is up to you. As you blow your whistle, sort of parade drill training sort of kicks in for the rookies, and they all sort of like stop what they're doing. A few of them have injuries, but they sort of turn to attention, and Zora doesn't miss a beat. She is still sort of like swinging at you. She kind of lunges towards you, and as you kind of dodge out of the way, she punches you pretty hard in the chest, kind of knocking you back a few feet. And over your shoulder, you hear a shout as one of the rookies kind of tosses you a sword and says, "I don't think she's going to stop, Commander. I don't think she's going to stop, Marshal. Think you're in for training today, lad."
Cheers, rookie, and never call me lad again. And I'll take the sword and swing it at Zora? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, I-Hsien, who are you?
Do these have to be rookies?
No, it could be anybody in the Legion.
Great. All right. So Mal just yelled, "What in the name of all the Bartan gods is going on?" And so, right.
And you heard the whistle. More importantly,
Right.
what got your attention was
Sure.
the whistle, right?
Actually, what got Adakar's attention was the invocation of all the Bartan gods, and he comes a running.
Adikar.
Even though he still has like a sucking chest wound. Arrives with basically bandages and no armor, with his with his new sword, right? He was just promoted to soldier, so he actually has a sword now instead of like a cobbled together miter, and he takes his place next to Mao and basically starts swinging at Zora, and he's like, "Have you considered Faresh? She's really great, and I think she's gonna see us through this. I think this is maybe a test from Faresh."
As a reward for your faith, sort of you get a swing, a sword, swing with the sword, a shield kind of pushes you back, and then a firm kick right in the knee, as you're dropped to a knee. And at that point, I think Mal is going to have to step in and defend you a little bit.
It's the penitent position. It's fair, yeah.
And Amber, who else comes running at the sound of the
Oh
whistle?
man, I'm trying to decide if I want to do Theonin or Azure. I think Theonin would be more fun. But I think it's going to be Azure, actually. I think Azure hears the whistle blow and kind of like turns over on her cot and just like opens her eyes slowly, sits up, and just starts like to walk out really casually, like just like, okay, let's see what's going on. And yeah, strolls up to see this fight, and she's like, "Oh, Zora, huh?" And brings out like a little notebook and start taking notes, watching this and going, and like kind of like weirdly creepily staring at like how she's moving and like how her muscles are moving underneath her whatever she's wearing. If there's exposed flesh, she's looking at it.
Oh
creepily.
yeah. Oh, definitely. She Zora is not in armor. Or she
perfect.
she's in like I guess you wear like quilting underneath heavy armor, right? So she's in like the quilting underneath it, but she's sort of like maybe has just like gauntlets on, right? Like
Yeah.
a hockey player at practice, I guess.
Gotcha.
You know, protect your hands.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, what I'm saying is, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, she is as muscled as advertised.
Ooh, wonderful. And I guess she'll just like stand on the sidelines and just keep watching and just go like, I mean, she doesn't really say anything. She's just very awkwardly standing there.
And so I think another couple rookies sort of from the group that have sort of stopped training, as well as maybe some others from other squads have kind of ventured forward and are trying to help sort of keep her at bay.
Yeah.
Because it's certainly like her form of training is clearly
Sure.
going to hurt somebody. As she is saying, we must keep the iron sharp. And it is like a shield breaking swing with the sword, like a bone crunching kick.
Wow.
like she punches one rookie in the face, and like everyone hears his nose just snap. It'll
Can
put him in the infirmary for a bit.
Yeah, can Azure look at one of the rookies before, like, as they're like going to run off to go like help? Okay, hey kid, here, try this out. See if this helps you.
God.
And she'll hands like a little tonic bottle.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
One shot. Has to be all of it. Every single drop will fit.
He drinks it, and what's the effect?
Physical potency.
Okay.
It's not but it's not rage venom. It's
Got it,
something different.
Okay.
Azure has tweaked the chemical components of rage venom and maybe made it a little bit less ragey.
Okay, so this rookie like tosses it back and turns to you and says, "Thank you, Mom," and charges in. Kind of, this is a rookie, so he has a shield and like a spear, right? And he just kind of charges in here with like a tackle behind his shield, right? And Zora kind of turns and puts her shield, like catches his bash with her shield, and is actually knocked back a step before she then kind of just leans into him with the shoulder, and he is also kind of thrown, like not off his feet, but like sort of thrown for a stumble. And then he is back into this fight as she is now fighting off 4 or 5 people, one of which, of course, is an older gentleman with an erect carriage who has not seen the field of battle in some time.
Quite some time.
And Rudy, who are you bringing to this mess?
Sure, I'll be Greyman. I'm sleeping in my room. I'm awakened, as I often am, I assume. When you're the commander, you never get a good night's sleep. People are constantly interrupting you when you're trying to sleep. And it's like, I can't really focus until I have coffee, so I'm kind of coming outside, kind of rubbing my eyes, and I see Zora trying to kill my best pal and some other rookies, whatever their names are. And so I think, we've been betrayed. Like, we got another broken on our hands. So I am going to draw my weapon, run back into my room, grab my weapon, and run over and be like, all right, you were mean to me, so now you're going to get it. Okay. You're going to get the commander. So I'm going to start swinging my sword at her.
What kind of sword does the commander use?
Ooh, okay. I think...
Because you're an old legionnaire,
yeah.
Right? Like,
in his heyday, he was known for the two-hander, for like a monstrous like claymore.
Okay.
But in his older age, he's kind of scaled back to a hand and a half, or like a bastard sword.
Okay.
So yeah, I run forward, and I think like I had heavy, kind of like the heavy class. You fight as a small squad, maybe that was kind of his deal as the leader of the Shattered Lines.
Okay.
But I think these days it's more nuanced, more kind of use your experience, not your brute strength, to defeat your enemies in combat.
Sure,
So
I love this.
I'm gonna come forward and I'm gonna start trying to fight her.
So this is perfect. So you step in, and like you say, you have years of experience kind of with that fighting style of being outnumbered and yet rising to the challenge, right? Which is very much what it feels like fighting with Zora. It feels like she's everywhere at once and has eyes in the back of her head. And as you step in, like, you are able to start sort of gaining ground on her, right? Like, she is no longer on the front foot. She's kind of having to step back a bit and react to you in a way that no one else has really been able to pressure her. And everybody else kind of starts to fall out of this, either wounded or exhausted, or thinking maybe it's better to just see what happens. Trusting that the old commander, old Greymane, is here. And I think, like, over the course of like a minute and a half, which is a really long time in a sword fight, like swinging a super heavy sword around with all of your might trying to kill somebody for a minute and a half is exhausting. And eventually sort of like the whole legion now is kind of gathered in this sort of area, right? As you are matching her pace for pace, like kind of swing for swing. You don't have a shield, but you're able to kind of make up for it with sly maneuvering, right? And finally, like, she is able to kind of trick you into a little bit too high of an arc. She kind of comes in low, knocks you off your feet, and has her like flaming, right? Her sword is actually made of fire, right? And it sort of radiates and pulses and glows and like kicks off flame. And she has it at your throat. And you can see like you're exhausted, right? Like you're breathing heavy, like adrenaline is coursing. And this whole time she has just looked like a calm, murderous machine. And now that she kind of has you at the sword tip, you see her kind of sigh and take a deep breath. You see like she is sweating a little bit. Like the exertion has sort of gotten her heart rate up a bit. And what's also strange is you don't feel the heat of the flames of her sword. It's sort of like a cold fire as it's close to your neck. And she turns to the group and says, "We must train extra hard from here on out. It will not get easier. Now, Greymane has provided an excellent example for all of you for how to fight, for how to train, for how to treat every day like it could be your last. And now, we will continue the session. Please, squads, form up. We will train." And for the next 3 hours, like as dawn rises, the sun rises and it's getting close to noon before she finally sort of wanders over to a banner and plants it in the earth and says, "And now we are back to fighting form. Dismissed." And I think everybody kind of one by one starts filtering out towards the mess tent. Because this was an early start. So how are you guys feeling as you're kind of wandering off released?
I mean, I guess Azure was part of the training too, but mostly was observing. And as she's like walking back to the tent, she's like, "Zora sweats. Good to know. Maybe useful in tonics."
Yeah.
Zora sweat.
Yeah, so I think the way this was like mostly it was training squads, right?
Yeah.
And so specialists are kind of asked to wander around, and Azure is training physically, but also kind of responsible for helping manage the wounded, of which there are some pretty serious wounds, and Zora is expecting them to continue training as hard as they can. So I mean, I think you are an active participant, but also, yeah, I think that makes sense that Azure has a little bit of like leeway to observe more than other legionnaires.
Trainees need electrolytes. Zora sweat?
It's Zora aid.
Yes, exactly.
Ash 100% slept through this whole thing. Nope. You probably got a notification from Crimson Vexing Gale, who was just like, do you want to see what's going on? And Ash was like, no.
Did Ash kind of plan ahead and maybe go to like the mess tent? Like make sure that like, oh, that looks really hard. Breakfast better be ready.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't stay in like, oh, this is the spy master's tent. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows that's the commander's tent. That's the marshal's tent. That's important for them to know. He's in different places, or sometimes he's not even necessarily in camp all the time with his spies. But yeah, he just shows up at mess when people are walking in. He's like finishing breakfast.
Mal is like thinking like this is highly irregular.
I think Mal and Gray may definitely seek each other out, right? You guys are besties, so why don't we have this conversation?
Okay.
How do we get rid of our chosen?
Commander, this is highly irregular. I request, nay, I demand respectfully that you talk to Madam Chosen and let her know that we run things a certain way around here. And just because she's technically more powerful and in charge and we're serving at her pleasure, she can't just come in here and wreak havoc like this. That it's incautious. It's impudent.
I completely agree with you, but as you can see, there's not much I can do in terms of stopping her. Go get Red Raging and any other big troops we have to come with us.
Perhaps Tatanika can frighten her. That is a
Tatanika
possibility.
Is very frightening.
I saw her cleaning her nails with a large blade while the rest of us were training in combat. So that is a possibility. But I would like you to have words with her, Commander, and at least let her know we have things worked out. The squad sleeps at certain times, they eat at certain times, they train at certain times. This is how we keep their morale up, we keep their stress low, and well, this just throws everything all into a. I can't even think of a word. That's how upset I am.
Oh man, Mal at a loss for words.
Thrown into.
I think at this point you guys are kind of wandering behind the Legion, right, as they're sort of going to the mess, and there's not enough room inside one tent for everybody to eat at once. That's not normally how things are handled, and so like they're kind of taking breakfast or lunch, as it were, like taking their meal and sort of moving around, right? And I think this on that note, you kind of have a chance to look around about you and see, like, yes, it seems like morale should be down, and yet like everybody has a smile on their face, like they're grinning, like they're beat, they're like, lots of them are nursing small wounds, and yet like they're laughing over breakfast. Like this isn't us, they're not somber, right? Like morale is good.
This is like 100% about Mal's pride.
Oh,
so
sure. No, but like that is the realization you have, is like like they are uplifted by this, challenging as it may be.
All right. I hear Mal saying, and as I look around this room at all these men whose names and women whose names I don't really know.
Mostly women.
Mostly women, yeah. 70%, 70-30. Mal, you know, I want to agree with you, but these are hard times, and we can't be sending out anyone, you know, the less green they can get, the better. And if that means hard training, harder than anything I would have ever recommended, then maybe that is the way to go. Maybe we've been doing things the same way for too long. Maybe Zora is the kind of change we need, even if I really don't care for her style of approaching it.
Well, Commander, you know how I feel about change. I
don't care for it.
Yes, I don't care for it.
You don't care for it.
I don't welcome it. But of course, I defer to your judgment. I'm glad to see the squads looking happy. They're sweating. They've made a good effort. They've exercised, and that makes me happy. But you know, I want to keep in mind that we're maintaining order for the long haul, not for one morning of feeling elated because they got to poke sharp sticks at each other. Having said that, I'm incredibly frightened of Zora, and I respect your authority.
Yes.
So I understand what you're saying, and you know, you won't hear a crossword from me about it in front of the rest of the command staff.
We're on the same page. Just, yeah, the fear of Zora also motivates my actions. Like you saw,
Indeed.
I can do nothing. Like literally, that was it. That was everything. I am so sore right now.
It was to be a good time where like they're near the mess tent, and I want Claudette to show up and be like, porridge. I heard your training went so well. Porridge, come eat. And brings them into the mess
I
tent.
need protein post-workout.
There's ham. We also have ham.
Lean protein.
It's the last of the ham.
Oh.
I like in the process, like you would think that Claudette didn't have any training responsibilities, being the quartermaster, but like still, like you had a bit of a bit of PT to do with the Baron.
We're lifting pans and flour and moving things and reorganizing.
It was like remedial spear fighting.
Yes.
So like at least like, you know, in a worst case scenario, you can pick up a shield and you know how to stand in a phalanx.
Yes.
So yeah, let's see some of, like, what are the troops thinking? Like, let's see Tatanika actually, because I think she is definitely of the more compelling variety. So I'd like to see Tatanika and Leonin.
Leonin. Okay, that's not Theonin.
No,
Theonen's twin,
Yes,
Theonen's
a
twin
twin.
brother.
Leonin is
Nephew.
Greymane's nephew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But they are the two soldiers from the Emberwolves.
Is he I thought he was a shattered. People get moved around so much, I forget.
Leonin's an Emberwolf now, as is Tatsunika.
Gotcha.
And he loves horses.
He loves horses. He loves.
He's your
Arun.
cavalry. Yeah.
Mhm.
First of all.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, it was fun. I wish I was on a horse though.
Wow,
This is
mounted
great and all,
combat's
but it'd
the
be
way to
better on a
go.
horse.
Yeah,
Really a one-track mind, huh?
I wanted to
Him
be a
and
sniper,
Greymane.
but now I want to be a horseman.
Mounted sniper.
A mounted
Come on.
sniper is
Sniper.
dope as hell.
Yeah, that was intense. What does Leonin sound like? I don't even remember.
He just has a normal,
Nice.
a talkie voice.
Oh, wow,
He's,
normal. Wow.
He's
Wow.
Well, yeah.
he's
Tell
18.
Zora that.
18. Okay. Wow, that was really intense. But at the
Not
same
13.
time, I feel stronger. I feel more confident. I'm ready to take on the Cinder King himself. How about you, Tatanika? Wow, you're really going to town on that porridge.
I-Hsien, you played a good Tatanika.
Yeah, bring it, Ishin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tatanika's like mouthful of porridge, just scooping in it.
Yeah, speechless.
Finishes her porridge, right? And it's like, yeah, it's good, you know.
And then you reach for my porridge, and I'm like, oh,
I could,
okay, yeah. Help yourself.
I've really worked up an appetite, you know.
Yeah,
I got in some good hits. It was nice.
yeah.
I think maybe I'll just do this every day. You know, wake up in the morning, punch some people.
Yeah, I'm 18, so therefore I have youthful, durability and constitution. So I will join you on these morning workouts.
She does a fake out punch right at his nose.
Oh!
Like doesn't actually punch him, but just
All
like
right, I
just tries to get
flinch.
him to
Oh,
jump.
do I? I fall backwards. We're singing across from each other, and I fall backwards onto the ground, and everyone laughs at me, and I take it in good humor.
Oh, Leonin.
Oh, Leonin,
Fre-
it's gonna be
Freya-
so sad when you probably die
I'm a soldier.
later.
Freya is all because I mean the Emberwolves are kind of all eating in the same area,
Mhm.
right? So Freya is like, "Oh yeah, no, this is fun. I haven't had this much fun in a while. Why don't we train like that more often?"
Yeah, I'm down for it. Let's do it. Let's make a pact, the three of us, Ember Wolves. We'll train hard like this every morning.
Do you think?
Tatanika makes her ghost owl hoot.
Oh no! I make my shattered lion roar.
I'm
Can I,
confused.
Sapphire Dancing Tide, who's also part of the Ember
Oh,
Wolves,
okay. There's more of us.
is gonna be like, Tatsunika, you can do what Zora did. You can wake us all up every morning and start training. You can pull people out of their beds and just start the combat. That can be, I mean, you know, you heard what Zora was saying. We need more training. Maybe you can do that.
I mean, that sounds like something Ananika would get up to. Sounds like a lot of work to have to do it.
What does Anna Nika think of this? She's an officer. I think maybe the only other officer, or one of the few officers.
Currently, our only like actual
Yeah.
officer, yeah, ranked officer.
So I wonder, what does she think of this hard training?
Old
Amber,
battle axe.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm reading about Ananika right now. I've never played Ananika. So you
she's
guys,
only been seen once, and she was on the mission that
We killed Elia.
slew, Ilya,
And
Yeah,
recovered the banner.
and recovered the banner. Yeah,
and she's
so-
in the Audi.
Yeah, if you want to play Ananika, you can. Or the other member of the Emberwolves is Viscount Blascarosi.
Are they? I can't see them, so I don't know what their details are.
He's all right.
Viscount
It's fine.
Blasgarasi, they, them, age 22, mathematics student from OR.
That's 100% of what we know about this person.
What was their name again?
Blas.
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 Loss.
Blas.
And there's also Ananika, who
Yeah.
is called Old Battle Axe. Her nickname.
Mm. If you think you guys are asking about Ananika, what she thinks, I think I'll play Ananika then.
Okay.
Sure,
Nice.
yeah. Ananika's walking past. As
Yeah,
the Ember
Ananika's
Yeah.
Wolves
sort
are
of
all doing
wandering
their
by.
Ember Wolf howl or whatever.
Yeah. And somebody talk to her or
What?
engage her?
I think the invitation was, I wonder what, or that's something that
Oh.
Ananika would do.
Yeah.
Talking
Oh, that's
to-
right. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and then like the
Yeah, and I think Ananika will hears her name, turns and go and smiles at the rookies who are talking amongst themselves. And what was that? You said Ananika? You want my opinion? On what was it? What are you guys talking about? Sorry.
Trying to get all the info. She's an officer. She's trying to get all the info to make a choice.
Yeah.
We were just saying that we think we should train like this every morning, and we were hoping that maybe you could help train us because we respect you so much. Or maybe Arun, if Arun could come. I look around for Arun.
No, not Arun. Arun would not want to do this. Train you like we did this morning? Yeah, sure. Of course. This was great. I enjoyed it very much. So what are you thinking? What are your guys' what would you like? Just
Also-
exactly like this?
Also, as she's saying this, keep in mind, Ananika has level 3 harm, and I'm gonna say
Oh, okay.
She
the
wheelchairs
Oh.
by.
no. That's how she feels. That is absolutely how she
Ah.
feels.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
feels, like refreshed, right?
Yeah.
But like half of her head is wrapped in bandages, like from one ear and across an eye. As the old battle axe is saying, this was invigorating.
I loved it. I enjoyed every minute of it. And if we want to continue doing it, we shall do it. First thing tomorrow morning.
All right. I mean, you can command us. You don't have to maybe be
No.
involved. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I want to do this for
Okay.
you.
Cool.
Tatsunika's just like, great, I joined the army to have fun.
It doesn't have to be fun for you.
Not worried about that.
I joined the army because I didn't have a whole lot of other choices.
Freya. Yeah.
Yeah, we can tell.
Okay, well that was mean.
Shane, you got to do the accent.
Oh, does she have an accent?
Oh
This
yeah,
is
Kat
about
leaned in
Mhm.
hard on that Russian
Oh,
accent.
right.
Yeah.
I joined the army because I did not have any other choices. But I am happy to be here. I like being part of the Legion.
Huh, good. Great attitude. Nice. I shake your hand. We're both youthful exuberance is what we are just exuding right now. Just like enthusiasm and excitement and oh boy, are we gonna die.
And Anika is soaking it all up.
Nice.
Tatsunika eats Freya's porridge too. You guys are like shaking hands. She just reaches across the table. "Mm, this one's mine too."
I feel like Freya's handshake is like that sort of like overly exuberant like teenage handshake where you don't want to seem like you don't know what you're doing, so you kind of squeeze too hard. And I think we established we do like the Roman like forearm
Oh
handshake.
yeah.
So like, her hand is just sort of like squeezing your forearm a little bit like more fingers than you would normally expect.
Ow, 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 ow. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so I think that's a good little interstitial. Why don't we move on to later in the day? At the staff meeting.
Is Zora still here?
Oh yeah, Zora is still in camp. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think this is like the regular afternoon staff meeting. As everybody is kind of coming in, and once everybody is assembled, Zora also enters.
I was gonna say I'd send a runner to bring her. I feel like we should invite her regardless of how I feel.
Well, so once everybody is in, she will also step into the tent. Of course, she is probably a foot taller than most of you, so she's a demigod height, kind of an intimidating warrior in her own regard. So she is maybe a little like slumped or like hunched over to keep her head below the tent. But she steps in and sort of steps up to the table and says, "Commander, I received word that you wanted me to be here, and I would not miss it."
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. I've got a map spread out of Aldermark. The same map we have of what I think what we've heard, like the Cinder King's area where he's made it, where he's moved in. And Shane, I have questions. Can I just ask you these questions now? Obviously, we roll missions, but I would love to ask as soon as Zora comes in. We haven't seen her in a bit. What news of the Cinder King?
You have heard of the unfortunate news out of Panya, yes?
We can see it, and I point in the direction of the fire and the smoke that's raising up to the east.
Then you know where the Cinder King is. He has cut off perhaps the easiest escape route back to the east through Panya. And there are some Panyar troops that are there and resisting, but I fear that he is determined, and when you are willing to blight everything in your path, it is difficult to fight both fire and arms. Panya will almost certainly burn.
Well, as a wise man once told me, the forest will regrow. Which I think is what you said, Ash. I'm not sure. Something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll try and remember.
He just, like, Ash doesn't say anything, but he just, like, inclines his head a bit at Greymane.
But knowing that Cinder King is to the east means that I think we should probably head north.
Yes. As you can see, I see you have the same reports that I do. I have received word from Shreya. Blighter has pursued her along the northern roads. She is now in the forest, Talgon Forest, I believe. But Blighter pursues. Meanwhile, Render and Breaker make siege on Westlake, though fortunately for us, their front has grown wide. While they have not finished the siege before they continued marching on, they are trying to flank Panyar and cut off our route, force us to the north. They believe they can catch us in the mountains, I believe. So we have not yet faced their full army. We may be able to make it out before they can fully regroup. It just depends how long they hold in Westlake and how long they consider that strategically important.
Well, I'm sure in time Westlake and Eastlake will fall. So as soon as I don't think we should hunker down here, especially with these ornamental walls.
No, we will, as you like to say, we will move.
All right, that's kind of what I say, but okay.
Close enough.
But while we're here, we should take advantage of what we can. Do you have any intelligence or information on possible moves we can make to further hinder the Cinder King and his forces?
Yes.
Question?
I think you want them.
No, I was asking for missions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me them missions.
Oh, okay.
All right. She says, She says, there is a Bartan corporal, Ria Kadashi, and her warband were pushing east to join the defensive line at Panya. I do not know what happened, but I have received word from the Horned One that they are in need of aid. This is very curious to me because they are behind enemy lines, far afield, and I have received word from the Horned One who I have not heard from in perhaps 6 weeks about one group in one place hundreds of miles away. At any rate, that is hundreds of miles away from the Horned One, who was taking troops through the forest, right? At any rate, they have been beset by forces from the front, and we need to get to them quickly. You need to slip through the undead lines, support their warband, and punch back through, and get them back to the city. I have it on authority that this Corporal Kadashi would be a valuable asset to the Legion.
We could replenish our forces. We've lost several troops in the past few weeks.
Yeah,
And-
so this is a supply mission, and it is a special mission, and it is a glory mission. So this will
Woo!
get XP for Zora.
And she'll level after 1 more XP, right?
Yep.
Cool.
And the rewards are +2 morale, 4 soldiers, and 1 Bartan soldier.
For rookies or
So I think it's supposed to be 4 rookies. I
Okay.
think I might have a typo there.
Darn.
that'd be quite the.
I was like, that's a
reinforcements.
dope
Yeah.
reward.
Oh no, sorry. Actually, it is 4 soldiers. So it is
Oh, boy.
four
Wow.
veterans.
Right.
Hell yeah.
An additional Bartan soldier who has other extras.
Special.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
so the corporal has +2 actions and +1 special ability. So I have her sheet, but you guys will make the soldier sheets.
Cool. Very cool. Okay.
Nice.
And there is no penalty for failure.
Except the dead people that like probably slowly retreat if we fail.
Zora says, we also need recon. The dead are circling on the northern. The dead are circling, and the northern front holds for now. When it is time to ship out, you will need to move fast. Scout ahead the route to Fort Jalisco. That will be our next stop. Make sure that our maps are accurate, that we know the best routes, and that there are no dead dug in along the way. We may not be able to afford time for a serious fight in transit.
Mhm.
And this one is +2 intel, and the penalty is 1 death.
Okay.
And then she says, I have also talked to the Anointed. They have informed me that when the refugees came following the Battle of Ettenmark, they permitted a few temporary shrines on the outskirts of the city in the name of Asrika, who you guys know is the goddess that the goddess of mercy, that Shreya is the chosen of, where they tend to the wounded and the ill. The dead are gaining ground, and a converted stable is now called the Temple of Her Blessed Sacrifice, is full of wounded soldiers that need evacuation. Send troops down there, and do what you do best. Hold the line. Buy Asrika's faithful time to relocate the wounded, and they have pledged one of their priestesses into our service.
Ooh,
She will march with us onward.
cool.
And that is a religious defense mission. The rewards are a fine asset, a mercy, and the penalties are -1 morale and +1 pressure.
Okay. So, based on my terrible rolls recently, I would rather I would rather take the immediate death failure than the pressure failure and the morale failure, because if we, what is it, 6? If we drop to 6, we lose a campaign action, which, is so significant.
7. If we drop
It's
to
actually
7.
It's that's and we're
Woo.
currently at 8, so we
Yeah.
we can't risk any morale loss. I mean, obviously we'll get a bunch if we succeed, but on the first one, but you never know. So might as well not.
Yeah.
Try and reduce the possibility of morale loss as best as possible. Plus, I will spend an intel towards the secondary engagement roll, which should help. Okay, cool. So I did it again. I should have asked questions before. I mean, it doesn't matter because we're doing the vital. We're doing the first mission.
Right.
So
So the first mission also says bring 2 squads on this mission and expect heavy losses.
Yeah.
It requires horses, and it is vital, so
Okay.
it must be selected as the primary mission.
yeah. So we have the horses to spend. I have more questions. Here we go. What troops might we expect to encounter on this mission?
It is difficult to know. Both the northern and southern lines are a mix of units that Breaker or Render have released to Rome. I would expect most of them will be Breakers or will be Render's troops.
Okay.
The knights. That
Cool.
is our best guess.
I like to kill them. I'm always concerned about hexed, but it doesn't sound like this is like a hexed kind of thing. What's the main weakness of the undead's position on this mission?
It is that their line is sort of makeshift. So it is not like, I mean, you can see on the map, like it is not It is not like a single
Sure, yeah,
solid
it's like
offensive front, right? Like it
curvy.
is
Yeah, Westlake
exactly
has kind of messed them up, right?
right.
Yeah.
So that's their main weakness. So it's like instead of being like you think of battle lines being sort of like one army on one side and the other army on the other side. It's actually just sort of more of a gray area where like troops are intermingled. So you could be flanked rather easily, things like that. That's the importance of horses, is getting there quickly and then also sort of safely.
Okay. And, well, okay, this will be useful then, because what are two approaches we could use here besides slip through their lines? I'm curious as to what another approach.
Yeah, so the two approaches are basically to take your time, the conservative approach, right, which is take your time and look for a like gap in the line, which if you're confident, like if you have the skill as soldiers to recognize those things, right, that you feel like you might be able to slip through at the expense of time. So basically, like how frantically you're sprinting to catch up to them will be the question of your engagement roll if you kind of go the conservative way. The alternative is pick the first weak point you see and cross through as quickly as possible.
Just barrel through.
Right, like fight and outmaneuver them, right, which is riskier, but of course like gets you there faster. So
okay, so those are my questions. That's interesting. I-Hsien, Spymaster, Ash.
I think we have all the intel that we need on this particular mission, right?
Yeah, so if you have any,
we know we do.
Right,
so Ash like just raps twice on the door, and then it opens, and in comes a young woman with like two long braids in the Aldermani style, which we actually haven't recruited in Aldermark yet, so like there aren't a ton of Aldermani in the Corps. She looks 17 maybe, and he sort of like nods over at her and says, this is Ygritte, the interrogator that I recently recruited. I was feeling optimistic, so I sent her on ahead to talk to some mercenaries who are coming back from the east to ask, or to find out, what special missions have we heard of at Skydagger Keep, and what challenges or problems are inherent at Skydagger Keep. And
at Skydagger Keep, or at what is Fort
the
something?
end? The end.
Okay, sure.
Hell yeah. Okay. I see what you've done here.
Of course, that's assuming that we get there intact and alive, but hey, let's hope.
So, yeah, she says, well, I don't have pleasant news, but I've heard there's actually a lot of work that's going to have to be done. We need to... The keep has kind of fallen into a bit of disrepair. It hasn't really been that important in recent years, as there's been peace between the Eastern Kingdoms and Aldermark. So the ramparts and the gates will need to be reinforced. It's not used to the type of armies that it'll be facing. There's also a lower pass that could give them leverage. They might just be able to flank around the keep if we don't hold that. We will also need to stop the main force. We'll need to climb the mountain passes and evade undead patrols and maybe trigger an avalanche. Try and stall them or stagger them, or just buy ourselves some time as they have to wait for winter to unthaw. We also need siege weapons. Like it can't be held without siege weapons. We're just there's not enough space on the wall to hold it with just men. And we've just got to be ready to hold out. We'll need supplies. We need to expect them to try again, and put everything into cracking us there. Like they're burning Panyar so that we can't cross it. But if the Panyar forest is gone, like they won't be able to cross the flames either. So they're all coming through us. Or I guess, did she say us? They're all coming through you.
Eventually she'll say us.
She's brand new.
Yeah. And special mission, or was that sort of wrapped up in there?
So that's actually all the missions. So the way that Skydagger Keep works is there are 5 objectives that have to be completed before like the last wave, and the last wave is just a fortune roll. So like there aren't special missions at Skydagger to like get you resources. Those are the things that you will have to do at Skydagger in order to like make it to the last wave, basically.
Good. All right. Yeah, Ash.
I can like, because I don't have a special mission for you, like if one of those things like stood out for you question wise, I can tell you a little bit more about one of those. Is that fair? So it's reinforce the ramparts and gates, hold the lower pass, stop the main force, assemble the siege weapons, and hold the second wave.
If we bring siege weapons, can we skip assembling the siege weapons there?
Yes. If you bring siege weapons, you can like you'll still need to haul them up and get them in place. But they will almost certainly better than whatever has been left over that will need to be repaired and refitted and all of that stuff. So yes, bring siege weapons if you can. You get a bonus to your engagement roll if you have siege weapons.
Cool. All right. Ash, like, actually smiles, thanks Egrid, and then dismisses her.
Oh, thank you, sir. I am well, and she kind of turns to everybody and says, Your Grace, I'm honored to serve with the Legion and under your banner. My home is gone now, but I think I want to do more.
Ash will be like, we're in the same boat now. Or we're up the same tree, I guess is a more Panyar expression.
That's probably right. Okay. Are there any other questions?
No, I think that's all the questions.
Yeah, it's everything.
Cool. So let's marshal then.
All right. Should we talk about some squad assignments?
So we had to send 2, huh?
Yeah, we got to send 2. This is Operation Broken Wing, by the way.
Nice.
That's,
and
the special mission?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, special name for a special mission. So my recommendation would be to send the Ember Wolves and the Shattered Lions, who are uniquely suited for the job and also are both full squads, which is an advantage they have. We need to send a specialist, and our options are Red Raging, Ananika, or Slippery Peter. Red Raging is in great shape physically, but if I had to assign a value to how much stress she's at, it would be 6 full ticks of stress.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
So
But
you
she
basically
has no trauma though,
Yeah.
so
She's
Yeah.
trauma free.
she'll basically trauma out of the first scene and then be reset.
oh, that's right. I forgot.
right.
We lose
So-
control
We
of her
lose
after.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Ananika, who is very close to being healed of her level 3 harm, which is her head trauma. Slippery Peter is in a similar boat, except he also has a level 2 harm. So those are our choices for that mission. Red Raging, Ananika, Slippery.
So I'm thinking, I think Slippery Peter's scrounge ability might be really useful to
Oh, that's true.
secure shelter, and his scout would also be very useful as we try and find like gaps in the line or weak points in the line.
Ananika's channels would also be very useful.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ananika because we're bringing 2 squads of rookies.
Oh.
I think.
I mean, we could bring up to 3 specialists, right? It could be 2 of those specialists and then Azure.
Azure.
Yeah.
You've got to send
Yeah.
somebody on the secondary though.
Yeah, so the secondary needs
sorry.
to be Azure or Ananika.
Okay.
Ooh.
What's the... Oh, there's no penalty.
Then we should send.
You
Penalty
should
for the
then
session.
Yes, bad.
Ugh.
Bad.
We should send Azure because
Yeah,
if
on
it
the
goes forward,
secondary.
Ananika dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azure on the secondary, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but that means there's no medic on this one.
Well, we got the numbers, right? Doesn't matter. We got so many. No one's gonna die.
Yeah, we got a lot of numbers.
Or get
And
hurt.
Oh
So-
yeah.
so
Yeah.
Slippery on Operation Broken Wing and Azure on Operation Crimson Thorn.
And
Nice.
Ananika on the first one, I think too.
And Ananika, okay. And regarding so Crimson Thorn will send the Star Vipers, who are great on kind of religious and supernatural missions. However, I'm gonna have to make some adjustments. This is Mal speaking now. He's like shuffling a bunch of papers around, and he's like, "We're gonna need to move a couple of Grinning Ravens over to the Star Vipers, due to heavy losses and low personnel."
Sure. Understandable.
Zora has just kind of had her arms crossed, sort of poring over the map on the table, as you guys have been discussing these details. And she turns to you, Mal, and says, "This is why we have hard training, because now everybody will trust that everybody will have their back."
It's actually a good point.
That's
Okay.
so smart, says
Yeah.
Claudette from the background.
I shoot daggers at Claudette with my eyes.
In Mel's head, he's like, the Chosen are such divas. But he said, what he actually says is, well said. And he just nods briskly and just goes back to his papers.
Do
Sure.
you say, okay,
A
so one of you
begrudging
said,
compliment.
"That's actually pretty smart," and the other said, "Well said," with no honorific.
Oh, that's actually pretty smart with Sally.
Oh, okay. Wait,
The
no, no,
Chosen
but
are such
that's-
divas is
Claudette
Mal's
says
inner
that,
monologue.
yeah.
Oh, I said Claudette. So that's actually really smart.
yeah. Claudette just said that backhanded compliment.
And well, no, I thought it was really smart. She was like Claudette's like honest, like that's if you make everybody train together, that's a really smart idea. So then
Yeah.
it makes it easier for whatever you have to send out everybody together. I get it.
Because we've
Um,
never trained together before.
Well, so I mean, the normal Legion training is like you kind of like live, train, bunk.
I mean,
Or
we probably do
fight,
mock
you know.
engagements every now and then as well.
Sure, but I think the point was more it's like kind of breaking down the barriers,
Yeah.
right? And like
Yeah.
sort of everybody was in the shit today, so everybody is ready for it tomorrow, kind of thing. But anyway,
Ash is uncharacteristically quiet. We'll get to that.
at the comment from Mal, without saying the ameliorating your grace, she kind of just gives you like a look, like the up and down, like
I see how it is.
sort of a very Mean Girls look.
She's admiring my après-ski Bartan
Uh-huh.
vibe.
She saw you in the dirt.
I think, Mel's stomach probably does a few somersaults, and he wishes he had not so much pride and had used the appropriate honorific, but unfortunately the moment is past, and he makes a mental note to not get any more on her bad side than he already is.
Or not too much porridge in that stomach as well, am I right? We all love porridge. Okay. Cool. So, are we ready to roll?
We need quartermaster.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, you need
Spending horses.
to spend them horses.
So it is also a supply mission. Oh, wait. Hang on. Do supply missions benefit from horses? What's the resource for supply? It's food, actually.
Oh, tell you.
Oh, we have lots of food,
We have
right?
lots of food, right?
So if you would
Yeah,
like to spend a
food.
food, you
Easton
can get
and I
you'll
agree.
get a +1 die.
That was the last of the ham.
Tatanik
Alright.
ate all the porridge.
You don't have to. There's no penalty, but you get +1 die for spending food on
on the
a
engagement.
Yeah.
on a
I
supply
think-
mission. Yeah.
I think this will be after this food spending, like so Claudette will supply food, but after this one it's gonna be a little bit harder for her to want to let go of food.
Sure, that's fine. I mean, the primary engagement role isn't that important. It's mainly the secondary engagement role that's
Yeah, for sure.
one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you're on the fence
Yeah,
about
I was
it,
gonna
I
say.
would.
Although we
would
do
not spend it
super
on the
we do
primary.
super want to succeed at this mission.
Yes, I
That's a
suspect
very
particular
good
one.
point as well. Okay,
I spend
yeah.
the food.
Food is spent. Nom 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 nom. Everyone eats food.
Get done. And then let's go ahead and just decide: what are we spending on the religious mission, if anything?
Whatever the thing. So spend an intel. I'm spending intelligence.
Yeah.
And then what can you spend to
Yeah.
bump up a religious?
Salad, you have
Relic.
that handy?
Wait. Religious
Relig-
supplies to ward
which-
and protect the legionnaires.
We have
I don't think we
0.
have, right?
boy.
Oh, right, because you guys decided fuck religion.
Well,
yeah,
yeah, religion's
religion's
dumb.
whatever.
That's what. All right.
We went hard atheism, and this is where it's got.
Yep.
I mean, you get one religious roll in the whole bunch, so I think you're okay. Cool. So
You ready for some questions?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Are all on the mission?
Oh wait, so this is the primary engagement role? Do we know who we're playing?
Oh yeah, we should figure that out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, let me go ahead and get those assigned.
Oh yeah, and can you
then-
move 2 grinning ravens up to star vipers?
Yes, which ones? Or you just want rookie copies of rookies?
Do we have any grinning? Yeah, because the other 2 are dead. So just the copies of rookies.
So just in the command tent, like right at so I assume Zora leaves, right? At some point.
That's a good question. So you guys are planning this. And Zora says, if you would like, perhaps a distraction. We could mount a more major offensive with all of the troops and strike their lines.
More training, if you will.
On the job training, I think you call it. And perhaps that will give you an opportunity. Perhaps where there was none, we will create one. I will let you think about it. And then she'll walk out of the thing, and we'll use the engagement roll to determine.
Okay.
Maybe
Cool.
Sure.
that sets you up, right?
Gotcha.
So several minutes after she leaves, and it seems like she's definitely gone.
She definitely doesn't listen outside the door.
No,
She
no.
was a demigod.
They might have
She's a-
super
she's a
hearing
weird
or
lady.
something. Yeah.
Maybe she has super hearing. Ash pulls a gun. It's a fine Orette revolver, which he has. He spins it and then he slams it down the table and then turns it so that the handle is facing Greymane, and he just slides it over and says, "I think many of us have the same concerns. I saw one chosen become a broken. I'm just saying, we should at some point be prepared."
Sure.
And if Greymane looks in the revolver,
I was about
it
to say, I
has-
immediately checked the chamber.
it has one Crimson Seeker shell in it, which he definitely stole from the quartermaster's storeroom.
Months
And just
ago.
says, there it is.
Yeah, I don't usually like these kinds of things. Pistols, that is. I'm a man of honor. I fight with a sword.
Okay, tell me when you can find a sword that can.
No.
actually work.
That is just what I'm saying. Greymane absolutely takes it and immediately puts it into his belt.
Okay. And that's it. Ash says nothing more about it. I think we talked about this on a previous stream. For any watchers, any viewers right now, it's threat 4 bullet,
Yeah,
which means it can hurt.
it's a super bullet.
It can hurt a chosen.
Lieutenant.
Although also you have to you mark a trauma when you use it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, actually, yeah, they actually can hurt chosen.
Yeah, because chosen are threat 4.
Yeah, and chosen are 5, so it's they would do one tick to a chosen.
It's actually better to just give it to a sniper.
Yeah.
Or a rookie.
Oh my god, you shoot a gun so hard it kills you.
With enough guns and enough rookies, what can't we do?
Sure.
Right. It's a 1 in 20 chance of critting. Come on.
You might as well push, kid. You're gonna die.
Oh boy.
Devil's bargain? Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's do engagement.
let's
Okay.
figure out who's playing who.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
sorry. Let's figure out who's playing who. So
We have 2 specialists on this mission.
Yeah, we got Ananika and Slippery Peter.
and then we also have a bunch of soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Oh
no
yeah,
one
we have
has
Oh
to-
yeah, we have
Tatanika.
soldiers.
We have
Tatanika
Tatanika,
and
we have
Leonin.
Adhikar, right?
Tatanika, Leonin, and Adhikar are all on
Mhm.
this mission.
Cool.
And were the rookies? The what were the squad groups?
Ember Wolves and Shattered Lions.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Does
so
it make sense to play rookies to get XP, or does it make more sense?
No, I mean, for this particular mission, I would say play the soldiers because this is going to
Yeah.
be a toughie.
Because we need them.
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it makes sense to somebody should play Adhikar. Of the 3 rookies, like Adhikar should definitely be played so that
He's
you've
a
got,
soldier. No.
or sorry, of the 3 soldiers, like somebody should play Adhikar so that somebody is representing the Shattered Lions as a PC.
Okay.
Okay.
Though Adhikar has a level 3
Level 3.
sucking chest wound.
Yeah.
Details.
Okay.
I mean, he thinks that's fine.
Hey, the marshal said it was fine, so I guess it's fine.
Amber, do you want to keep rolling with Ananika?
Yeah, I'm looking at her sheet right now since I've never played the officer before, and I was doing really good leading with Theonin last week, so I can keep doing that.
Oh yeah, she's the consummate group role.
Yeah, yeah, she takes 1 less stress for leading group actions, and we've got a lot of squads and
Yeah,
rookies
a lot of
and stuff.
a lot of
It's
actions will
actually-
be grouped.
It's actually better than that. You take at most 1 stress.
Oh, at most, okay.
So, like every time
Okay.
you lead the action, you
Oh,
only
man.
you only risk 1 stress. And lead from the front, the new ability lets you improve your scale. So you choose whether that's higher or lower depending on what the action is. But basically, cool. You now just fight as a larger group because you are leading them, and
Okay.
also you can crit across multiple rolls on a group action.
Okay.
So if the the
2
rookies roll,
sixes?
you
Wow.
roll, and a soldier rolls, if anybody gets 2 6s total, that's
Wow,
a crit.
that's crazy.
Wow, awesome. Okay,
the-
I'll take Ananika then.
Do
But-
all the rookies count as 1 roll, or does each squad get their own roll?
So it's whoever is. So remember, anybody who participates in the group roll
Mhm.
rolls.
Yeah, but
so
I'm
the
saying,
two,
is
the
it
2 squads. Yeah,
Each
the
is
2
their
squads
own?
will be
Oh,
separate.
awesome. Oh my god! You're
But
gonna be
they
leading
will
and
suffer-
killing.
Well, hang on.
Oh.
They also suffer consequences the same.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
One-
you only need 1 level 2 harm, and all of a sudden, your 2 squads of rookies are toast. So.
Oh, no pressure. I'm gonna be the officer.
We got
Yeah,
soldiers to protect. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of, anyone else
So-
want to play Slippery Peter?
So we don't want Red Raging.
Oh, raging's also an option, right?
But she's
ooh,
gonna
so
stress
stressed
out.
out.
She's gonna stress out.
She's
So,
too
Oh, right,
stressed.
right. Mm-hmm.
She's way stressed.
yeah.
So options are Slippery Peter, Tatanika, Adhikar, Leonin.
Yeah, Leonin is built to shoot right now, I think. Yeah, he's got 3
Sally, do you
shooting,
have a
in fact.
preference on someone?
Some soldier maybe. I can't remember if I played Leonin or Adhikar. I think I've played both actually. Is that possible?
You might have been the first one to play Adhikar.
Possible. I think you.
Elia.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you were the first Adhikar.
I guess I haven't played Tatanika in a while. I guess I could do Tatanika.
Okay.
Yes. I
Feels
love
like
it.
coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's like an old shoe that fits perfectly.
Yeah. Right. All reckless and shit.
Rudy, do you have a preference?
I don't. I've played Slippery Peter twice. So if you
Yeah.
wanna,
So I guess so someone should definitely play him. So I guess I'm playing Slippery.
yeah. Well,
All
I
right.
can't wait to hear your take on that Slippery Peter accent.
Keep in mind that Slippery Peter has a level 3 and a level 2.
But we can reduce the level 3 because we didn't spend the healing, right? We decided not to spend the healing downtime, I thought, until we decided which one. No, he has both.
He has them. It was you can spend the ticks if you would like. You can move the ticks.
Yeah. You could. Yeah. You can
Oh,
move the
okay.
text between the
You-
level 2 and the level 3.
Yeah, so if you can clear the level 2, but you
Okay.
won't be able to clear the level 3 at all.
All right.
So we should also decide what that what that injury is. We never actually did because he got injured on a secondary mission. Okay, so then
I'll play Adhikar. I need to see Adhikar's sheet. It's hidden to me.
I will share that with you right now.
Adhikar also has a he has that pesky sucking chest wound.
Then maybe don't take. I know you said Shattered Lions would be good with sub-representation, but Leonin is perfectly healthy, so
Okay,
I would rather play him.
Okay, do that then. That's fine. I mean, then Shattered Lions will be led by Ananika.
Do people who are not currently being played, do their passive abilities still work?
Ooh.
Or no?
No. They're just a member. Like a soldier is just a member of a squad at that point.
Okay.
But does that mean like one harm just can wipe them?
No, they will take the harm as part of the squad. So the harm. I don't know how it's supposed to be, but I feel like it's a little rough to do that to a soldier in a group. So, I mean, you'll kill the rookies first, obviously. But I don't know. Like, I think if the harm would kill him, it'll kill him, and otherwise we'll mark the harm on his sheet.
Okay.
But that's only if he's the last rookie.
Well, we hardly knew you.
Or sorry, the last member of the squad.
Yeah.
like if he's the last member of the squad, then yeah, he can play as an NPC.
Well, someone I think pretty soon someone will slip into him.
Right.
Feeling.
Okay. So can everybody see the sheets that they need?
Yes.
Come on.
All right. Let's do engagement.
Okay. Are all on the mission oath sworn to the Legion?
Yes.
Did the commander spend 1 intel to give you foresight and info?
No. Not
Yeah.
on this one.
No,
is
on
it
the
secondary?
Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone on the mission a specialist or soldier?
No.
Does any legionnaire distrust the leadership or not fear them enough to obey orders?
No.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Are required specialists or equipment not on the mission?
No.
Okay, and this is a supply. So, did the quartermaster spend food to equip the mission?
Yes.
Is the current pressure higher than 2?
No.
Okay, so that's 2 dice. Big money, no whammies.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
As long as it's not
4.
desperate.
It's a 4, Shane.
It's a 4. Okay. So it's risky. That's fine. So I guess perhaps before rolling this, we should have decided which way you're going for it. But it's ultimately flavor at this point. Would you go for the Zora distraction method of like punching through the line, or the kind of the slower and more subtle sort of find the gap?
I think it would be more of a Zora thing to just do this distraction thing. So I think I would try to curry more favor with her. I would say, yes, of course. On the job training. That's exactly what we want to do here.
Okay. Perfect. So somebody...
Oh, let me switch to mission phase.
Who is the... It's Leonin is the cavalry, right?
Yes.
And he's being played?
Yeah.
He is. I am Leonin.
Okay.
So
yeah,
everyone has
perfect.
horses.
Yeah.
That also means that you gain +1 die to maneuver while mounted.
Yes.
Nice.
So I think where we will start this risky is the Legion in full force. Not typically a fighting unit that fights on horseback. Certainly not entirely on horseback, but desperate times and whatnot. So as lightning, like kind of heat lightning, arcs across the sky on sort of a cloudy, lousy, overcast day, the thunder of hooves beat across the Aldermani plain as the Legion banners fluttering in the wind.
I'm sorry, Shane. I'm so sorry.
What have you done?
No, can we do load?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I should have waited because your scene setting was really good, but I just saw it glaring at me.
All right, let's do load.
What were you guys thinking? Who? Heavy?
I mean, heavy. We're going right in, right?
Yeah, we're just going to fight
It's
and
not we're
save-
trying to be
yeah.
deceptive or
Yeah.
anything. So
Why
But
even
I think
bring
the-
horses then?
Yeah, but I think Slippery's still going in light.
Oh, sure, because he gets the...
Panther
he
like
has a
grace.
special ability
Yeah.
that lets him take
Mm.
less damage.
I see.
Okay, everyone else is heavy. Yeah,
Okay.
guns.
Cool. And everybody mark their utility items.
Yep.
Sweet. Where were we?
Sorry.
Heat
okay.
lightning.
Yeah, so with their banners kind of streaming behind them, fluttering in the wind, sort of like the camera now is doing that like shaky cam thing, as it's following along over the shoulder of the Legion charging forward, and this is Zora's approach now, right? Like this is for the glory of the Legion, which means that she has found the strength of their force and she is going to smash them, and you are all part of this mission team. You know that like you are meant to ride through, like you are supposed to kind of fight through the line and then keep riding, right? And before they can kind of mount anybody to chase you, hopefully be far enough away that you can reach the Bartan corporal and rescue that warband. And I think this is spears have sort of been are being kind of carried in the air, and then as your now sights on Render's troops, which you see here are actually like a mass of gaunts, as well as you hear like that braying sound, that telltale braying of hounds, as well as behind them you see there are some knights of the Black Oak, some on foot with pikes, others with horses, and they are sort of not arrayed in clean lines in a way that's going to quickly position themselves to resist this. Like you have the jump on them, and like sooner than you even think it's going to be, right? It kind of creeps up on you on how quickly you're able to cover this ground as spears lower like lances and horses crash into gaunts, and hounds are unleashed, right? And now it is sort of that nasty crunch time of armor and shields and swords and pikes, and horses kind of kicking back in the mud as pikes find them and unhorse their riders, and that sort of like going to the massive melee. And this squad, or two squads really, are sort of riding through, right, sort of in right behind that tip of the spear, and you need to get through this line, preferably intact, to kind of get free and go to recover that squad. So I think we're gonna get over this obstacle here, like this frontline obstacle, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll close out the mission. So.
Cool.
So what are we doing? You are on horseback. You are riding through. Your objective is to get through this line, which is a mix of Render's troops, sort of not in disarray, but not ideally arrayed either.
I think Ananika, we're like kind of, some of us are off horses, some of us are on horses. I want to, out of character, want to lead like basically a group action where we form up into a sort of formation. And I'm thinking in my head, it was like a Mighty Ducks flying V formation. So she'll like yell to the squad, our squads and all our troops, like, remember our formation, our training, and then like we'll assemble. And then lead us through and try to do like a very like thread the needle kind of deal.
That's awesome. Let's roll that. Just
okay.
One slight change to what you said. You are on horses.
Oh, we are on horses.
So the like
still stands.
Right, yeah. Like same plan. Just do it on horseback.
Horses.
And everyone, if we're maneuvering, everyone gets an extra die.
Yes.
Because of the horses.
Because of Leonin.
Is everyone participating in this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tatsunika has over the top when you charge into the teeth of an enemy that
Yeah,
outnumbers or outguns you, clear 1 stress and take 1d to maneuver.
Ooh.
Does that apply here, even though it's like a group thing?
I think you guys are charging with what 10 squad members plus 2 specialists. I don't
How
don't
many is
think
the
that
undead?
applies in this one. Yeah, like
Aw.
I feel like you guys are kind of acting at full scale, so
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's quite there for that.
Cool.
Sorry, Sally.
Oh, that's okay. I thought for some reason I like assumed that they outnumbered us, but I
Yeah, I assumed it was a
Well,
horde.
Overall, yeah, overall definitely, but like I think like big combat local problem, right? So
Gotcha,
I think
okay.
you guys are and specifically because you're in risky and not desperate, like I think you're kind of in a winnable sort of thing, right?
Mhm.
Cool.
All right. So what do I need to roll? Maneuver?
Everyone's rolling maneuver.
I
and
think
everyone-
yeah, I think if it's just get through this line rather than sort of demolish it, I think maneuver is the right thing.
Is it
Okay.
everyone gains +1 die to maneuver, or just me? It just says you gain +1d to
Oh,
maneuver
it's just
while
you.
mounted, so I think it's just me.
Oh yeah, it is.
So does that lead from the front special ability apply here? Like, do I need to worry about scaling?
Make our scale bigger. Or
Yeah.
actually, maybe smaller for maneuvering.
Yeah, I think actually make your scale smaller might work for maneuvering, because what you want to do is just sort of like get through the
Okay.
you want to punch a hole, right?
Right,
Rather
yeah.
than like sort of hit the whole line. So and I think that's what like you said, like kind of that flying V formation. Like,
Yeah.
that's what your formation is doing, is sort of getting you through in a
Okay.
sort of a smaller-
And now we're charging into overwhelming odds because our
No,
scale is
stop.
small.
All right.
I appreciate the effort.
Okay. So risky effect is standard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I
Hey.
rolled a 6.
Booyah.
Nice.
Okay.
All of
so,
these count.
Yeah. Does anybody
Else
So-
get a 6. Slippery gets a
Leanin-
5.
Leanin
And
got a 3?
Tatsunika got a 4.
Rookies.
Yeah, rookies. Come on, rookies. / soldiers.
I'm gonna roll 2d6, but that's 1 for each of them.
Mhm.
Ooh. Oh, it doesn't
Oh,
matter actually.
boy.
It's 2 1s.
Oh,
God.
these
We
rookies.
got the 6 though.
And it's okay because on Anika maxes her
Yeah.
stress from group rolls at 1.
So she takes 1 stress, even though 3 of us failed.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the problems. Oh my gosh, the horses. We came on horses. We didn't train for this.
Tatsunika screams at the rookies, "Get it together, rookies!"
Slippery Peter looks back and is, "Oi, why are you so slow?"
as he says that, like there's like a gaunt sort of launches itself at your horse and is like grabbing onto your boot, and is sort of being dragged along by your horse, or like is holding onto you and being dragged along as you're riding on horseback. Slippery Peter,
It's gross. These are gross.
you're just gonna let him ride?
I mean, what is this? This is a
This is purely narrative, I-Hsien.
okay. That's what I
You can-
thought.
you
Yeah,
can-
this is
You can
gross.
deal with this narration in whatever way you'd like.
yeah. Kicks it in the face. Ugh. And then, of course, he's in front, right? So the rest of the horses trample him.
Yes, exactly.
Stupid gods.
Oh, you know what? Funny thing.
Uh-oh.
There's a clock.
Clock
for
is getting
this.
ticked.
Oh, jeez.
All you got to do is get through, and everything will be fine. Cool. So that's a success. A 6. So that's 2 ticks. It is a 6 clock to break this line. So yeah, I think okay. So you were through like this massive gaunts. I think you're able to, again, risky desperate position probably would have been a line of pikemen that you have to get through. I think risky position means that the pikemen are otherwise occupied, where they would have had advantage on potency against you being on horses. However, I did mention there are a small group of cavalry that are behind them, right? So some of the Black Oak Knights do ride, and they are sort of behind, and you have drawn their attention as they are now kind of riding into you, and this will be sort of horse-drawn melee if you guys don't do something.
Hmm.
I think so. I'm imagining you guys have kind of gotten through this sort of the front of the line and are sort of arcing away, right? Sort of off back to the further east, towards where you're trying to get to. And now they have seen this and are riding up to sort of come alongside you.
Now, if Tatsunika charged now by herself,
Oh yes.
Yes.
So Tatsunika will peel off.
yes,
Okay.
it is high time Tatsunika did something reckless. She's going to charge.
I mean, you can do this. You can do this leading a group. I think there are enough of them. Like they're at least a squad. So if you want to lead a group, I think you can still qualify for your over the top.
Okay, cool.
But it'll have to be a group of like rookies. You know, like you can't lead everybody into this charge and still be outnumbering them.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna lead those rookies to get make up the ground we lost with your terrible fumbling. Tatsunika is like kind of a negative reinforcement type of a leader. And yeah, so I guess Tatsunika is just gonna like charge, just try to do like max damage, saber out. She gonna try to stand on her saddle? Yeah, she's gonna try to do some like Dothraki shit.
Wow.
Oh boy.
This is amazing. This is like almost counting coup for you.
Yeah, I mean,
It's reckless as hell. I love
Yeah.
it. You're
it's
getting
reckless as hell.
You're earning your over the top for sure. Get that
Yeah.
stress back so you can spend it wantonly.
So, right. Okay, so I'm going to clear a stress and then get an extra die. Do I want to do another die? So it would be 2 because I don't have a lot of maneuver. Can I get a devil's bargain in the mix here?
I'm listening. What do you have in mind?
Fall off your horse.
Oh, yeah.
Horse is killed.
So, devil's bargains, collateral damage, unintended harm, sacrifice or destroy an item, betray a friend or loved one, offend or anger your chosen, start and or tick a troublesome clock, suffer harm or corruption. I mean, I think if you want to ride in on like kind of standing up in the saddle with a saber riding into spears and lances, I mean, I think suffer harm is reasonable. It'll be level 2 harm because these are they outscale you too, so it'll be level 3 harm, and of course you can resist it. But
we're
Okay.
heavy, so we got armor and stuff.
Another option is that I know I'm leading a rookie, at least one rookie, to their certain death because this is so dangerous
okay,
instead of the harm.
okay,
Wow.
I will take. It's a rookie death.
All right, one of those.
Cannot be resisted because that happens.
Does anyone else want to tell me not to do this because now me, Sally, is playing with like potential success in further missions?
So
I mean,
we're gonna lose.
Peter's not gonna.
We're gonna lose a rookie in the other mission, and we're gonna get 4. So I would say no more throwing away rookies on this mission outside of this one.
Rookies
Well-
are a blade of armor.
Well, I mean, what does Ananika think about this? She's the one in charge.
That's true.
Yeah,
It's-
no losing rookies.
Oh.
But
It's few
Tatanika is
casualties.
reckless.
This is true.
Really, it's
That's
really
true.
what would Tatanika do?
Yeah,
Well, that's
it's
the thing
really
is, like,
Tatsunika.
Tatsunika, well, yeah, Tatsunika does not care what Ananika wants to do. Sally cares what everyone else wants to do. Okay, maybe here's what I'll do. I'll take the harm and I'll just resist it.
Okay, you got armor. You got
wait,
heavy
wait,
armor.
So,
in
so hold
fact.
on. Is this Tatanika blatantly disregarding an order from a superior officer?
Well, did Ananika give an order?
Well, I don't know yet.
I mean, if we want to do a flashback, it'd be like,
Oh,
Well,
times
I
are
mean,
getting hard.
she's like riding away, but like you can just be like, don't do that.
Yeah, I think that's the question, right? Is it Tatanika has spotted this and is
Yes.
acting, right? So
Yes.
is Ananika going to empower her to do that or like attempt to restrict her from doing that? I think is really the question.
Either
I-
way is interesting, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
just building
I think Ananika is like, do not break formation, as she yells out to Tatanika. And so now it's up to what Tatanika wants to do.
So Tatanika breaks formation.
Yeah, so that's happening regardless.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And it's a question of like, how far are you going to put? Are you pulling your whole squad into this, knowing that one of them will die?
If you're worried about us as players, I think it's more interesting to see what a character actually does.
Yeah.
So I will not be
Mhm.
upset with Sally with whatever you
No.
decide Tatanika wants to do.
oh, great.
So-
Okay, that's great.
You
Tatanika.
have the banner for this.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I mean,
That's right.
Tatanika is maybe suffering some consequences when we go out to camp, assuming any of us survive. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
not thinking about any of that. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, Tatanika's going to charge in. Leading a rookie probably to their certain death. So
That was the sound of a rookie dying.
Sounds like
hard
a can
clattering.
falling over. Yeah.
with a clattering of aluminum when it should have been iron.
so this is risky, right?
It is risky.
Okay, and then bonus dice
The devil's bargain. And are you pushing yourself?
is 2. Oh yeah, I can push myself because now I don't have that pesky rookies die when they get trauma thing because I'm a
Well, you already
soldier.
have a trauma as Titanika, even though we weren't supposed to do it. So if you got a second trauma, you would die.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
Tatanika actually immune to trauma, just character.
right. Yeah, totally. All right, so I'm just gonna do those 3 dice then. Oh, I got a 6.
Hey.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So that is Tatanika is a threat too, with scale, and I think the way that you have taken this devil's bargain is going to apply that scale to your threat, so you are acting at threat 3 against them. So that will definitely take 2 more on the clock.
Nice.
And is it the Viscount? Is
Yeah, I
it-
was just gonna say I
is
think
it
it's the
Polaris?
Viscount.
Loss.
Ha.
Is it Sapphire Dancing Tide? Is it a Panyar dying for Panya?
God, Panyars have such good. That'll be good though, story wise. Although I do really like Sapphire Dancing Tide. He's a they're a woodworker, and who's 51, and I was looking forward to someone
Oh.
playing them at some point. I think it's the Viscount.
Yeah, you said
Okay.
Blas was young, right?
22.
He sounds boring.
Mathematician.
22-year-old
Mathematician.
mathematician.
Kill that dummy.
Nerd.
Should have seen the writing on the wall.
Couldn't calculate this failure.
Right?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you kind of wheel back and charge directly into them. Again, they weren't super organized, and that's not exactly a conventional tactic.
They weren't expecting that.
So they
I
were
like to
not
think that he
expecting it.
died trying to tell you the odds.
Right.
Yeah, Tatanika just like slit his throat with her knife because he
Okay,
was like,
that's maybe too much.
Tatanika just made a blood sacrifice.
no, no,
That's gonna
no,
get
just-
you in trouble back at camp.
The Viscount was like, we shouldn't. The odds are, I run the numbers, and Tatanika was just like,
Maybe
not,
she
not
pushes
really.
him
That's
off
too
his
much.
horse and
That's too
he
much.
falls underneath it or something.
I mean, if she attacks another legionnaire, then everyone else would kill her because
Yeah.
like, there are hexed who do that. You know,
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Wouldn't actually make any sense.
so I think recalling that conversation and the way that he was sort of treated at the like after the training session, right? And like kind of how cool Tatanika was. Like not like like socially cool, but like how like cool under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
The Viscount wants to prove himself. Right? So as you direct them forward, he actually leads the charge.
you fool.
He spurs his horse on even ahead of yours, and he takes the lances that were meant for you. One across his shield, right, which he takes. A second one kind of into his thigh, right, and sort of starts to unseat him. And then the third one is just squarely placed in his chest as he is almost kicked from his or like bucked from his horse in the process. But as your squad sort of descends upon them, like he has taken the lances that would have made this foolhardy. And in the process, right, like it is your spears, it is your sword. I would imagine there's probably even like a rifle that goes off or a pistol in the sort of passing and clashing of sabers, and you get the better of them, right? They're not down, but they are sort of like roughed up. You unseat a couple of them. You certainly trade blows and get the better end of it. But that's the price that the Viscount pays.
Tatanika will do the her owl screech in honor of the Viscount.
Wow.
I love it. So you are now sort of going the wrong direction, and they are continuing to ride on to the main group. So the rest of you now have the remains of this squad sort of riding up on you. What are you doing to shake them?
Yes. Okay. Leonin. Okay. Leonin loved guns. He wanted to be a sniper like Arun. Then he remembered or found out he loves horses as well. So he thought, how can I...
In America, too.
make...
Come on. How do I make a gun horse?
How do I make gun and horse work? And he went to the blacksmith and had constructed a kind of, it's like a Y extending off of the bridle of the horse. So
Yes.
he can rest his musket on it
Turned.
to keep it steady. And then he can kind of turn it as necessary.
I love how this is your solution to that, and not just he has a carbine.
No.
Okay.
He knows the musket. His musket is an extension of his arm. This is what Arun taught him. Like, the musket is part of him. He would never try a new weapon. No.
Perfect. Okay.
So, I'm going to line up a shot at one of the charging. I'm going to go, God damn it. And he feels real bad because he said a bad word. And because he's a kid. And I'm going to shoot at
Does
one
he feel
of these
bad or
guys.
badass? I feel
He
like
feels
likes
he
saying
feels
badass.
like he's kind of looking around to see if anyone heard him say a bad word. He feels he did something bad. Okay, so I have 3 shoot. I'm a good shooter. I'm just gonna shoot. No things.
Okay, and you are a
Soldier.
soldier. Okay. Cool. So yeah, so let's roll it.
I have threat 2, right? As a soldier.
Yeah, so you're a threat too. They have scale.
Oh, I have black powder. Are these undead or are these just dudes?
These are Black Oak Knights. But it doesn't matter. I believe there's only 1 tick left. So
There's 2
there's
ticks.
2 ticks. Yeah. So if
Okay.
you can push yourself for effect.
Fine. I push myself for effect.
Cool.
And then get to push yourself to use your Y-shaped gun mount.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I roll the 6.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. Okay. So I mean, I know what happens with this. This is the first time you've battle tested this, right? Like
Yeah.
it's been field tested. It's been trained with.
Yeah, the horse.
time.
I had to train my horse specifically to not freak out when I shoot a gun on the back
directly
of its
over
head.
its ears.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it swivels. I swivel it a little. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, Leonin, the aspiring sniper, the one-time aspiring sniper, hasn't lost the touch. And sort of the lead of the group of the Black Oaks is not wearing a helmet. He's sort of the more feral kind of leader, right? Like he's practically frothing at the mouth. You can see like the scarring and corruption on his face as you kind of beat in on it. You see his eyes have kind of like grown to this like sickly color. He's almost certainly like not just blighted, but also like taking cinder blood, you know, like he's almost inhuman by the look of it. And you line up this shot, and like it is like normally the safe thing would be to shoot them out, right? Because if you shoot them out, the rider tends to fall off, or at least can't give chase. But you see that face and you're kind of drawn to it. And when you shoot, it just catches him like dead between the eyes, like you perfectly match the gait of the horse, and you just lined it up directly in his eyes. And like when he goes limp, the horse sort of is startled and turns and falls over. And in the trample, another one of the riders sort of tramples that horse. A third one tries to jump, and it is sort of this like falling sort of group,
like
right?
a domino effect.
Kind of, yeah, but like not slapstick, right? More like it's not that they're dying in this process; it's that they are losing ground. And by this point, because I think that ticks the clock, so we're complete here. So we've gotten past this. By this point, this is Tatanika's group. now is riding behind, and that stumbling, that slowing to try and maintain ranks, and a couple of the horses having to leap and sort of hitting uneven ground, and like, you know, having lost their leader, like they don't realize that Tatanika's group is again behind them, and you make quick work from behind, between, you know, kind of unfortunately like hamstringing their horses, or like actually, you know, knifing or stabbing or shooting them from behind. Like, you are able to discourage the pursuit sufficiently. You all catch up and you are able to ride on. There are still kind of pockets of gaunts that are sort of shambling through here, and that maneuvering that Leonin is leading is certainly valuable, but the main threat was those knights, and you are now able to kind of move behind enemy lines with a little bit of safety.
Nice.
And let's take can we do like a 5-minute break?
Yes. Let's. Okay.
So that will be 9:17 by my clock.
Same
Yep.
clock. All right.
Cool.
Be right back. Hello, we're back. We've broken through the line. Shane, what's next?
So next is, like I said, a couple hours of avoiding rather rudimentary patrols, staying moving and advancing, you know, orienteering on the map to get to the position, or the last known position, the last believed position of Corporal Kadashi and her warband. And we'll kind of pick back up now, where you believe that you have, like, you are now at the point where you know, kind of believe you're in the vicinity of where her last known position was, and you feel like you've got a pretty good idea of where she is, because this happens to be like, you know, sort of the same Aldermani plains, so it's very rolling, you know, like 200-foot high, like kind of rolling plains, but then it is occasionally dotted with, you know, small forests, the occasional like stand of trees, you know, there are small rivers and creeks that kind of run through, and you are pretty sure that if you were a Bartan corporal holding up and waiting for reinforcements, you would have picked that stand of trees to try and do it, because at least it would be difficult to fight on horses. And as you kind of look around the plain, like, as you're like, we're getting close, and you kind of look around like, boy, there's one good tactical place to hole up, and it looks like that one.
Did anyone take a flare gun by chance? Is that in a soldier's kit, or
Slippery Peter pulls out a flare gun, flips it around. I was like, yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it's
that ain't a flare gun. This is a flare gun. Hey, he like kind of like points it at Tatanika and is like, remind me to never get on your good side.
I like he drifts between New Zealand, Australia.
Oh yeah.
I
got a sixth sense about this right here.
Boy, I'm never getting on your bad side again.
So I don't know. Is there like the armies of humanity? Did we have a particular? I don't know. We shoot green to show ally or friend or something like that, like colored flare. This is a stretch, I feel like.
I don't know. Did the undead use flare guns?
I think this is a perfect use of a flashback.
I
think for one strain, you could, as part of this mission, right? Like, one of the things that was sent with the information that she was here was what color signal flare to use to signal her. So they are looking for the what color flare?
Yeah, Slippery doesn't want to do this, but I will do it because he's got the flare gun. And you know, while he's packing it, he's like because we used the flare gun in the mission to save Greymane. So he's looking at like the three. I guess we decided it was red, yellow, and green.
I thought you had a black flare for some reason.
Yeah, okay.
You remember?
So yeah, he's looking at the different flares and just like, So he does. Probably asks Mal, who's Bartan and knows old Bartan signal codes.
Yeah.
Ah.
And Mal was like, and Barta, we do 2 quick green flares for we're here to rescue you.
I like it. The double barrel flare gun.
The double barrel flare.
Yeah.
Good. I'll use half my flares. Cool.
I think that's one flare use.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one
quick.
color of flare. Yeah.
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 Two
It's a
pulses.
green, a red,
Yeah.
blue, red, blue.
That means we're running late.
Hold on,
but
I
we'll
gotta check
be
the
there
logbook.
soon.
So I think
Is it
it's
done?
up, down,
Hold
up,
on.
down, left, right, AB, AB.
EV start. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you Konami code them.
It says they
And,
need more fish?
done.
Or... Oh, there's another red. Okay, cool.
They have
They're here to
infinite
help.
lives and they march out. Okay, so yeah, that's cool. And I'm now imagining that this flare gun is a double barreled in the sense that it has 2 triggers, one for each barrel.
Takes 2
you know,
hands to use.
Yeah, like it's the old fashioned kind of like
Sawed-off
double barreled shotgun.
Yeah.
style.
Special Bartan flare gun.
Yeah.
But it is it's Slippery Peter's prized possession. Apparently, it's the only thing we know about him for sure.
You don't have a lot of easy loadout options on a scout, actually.
Right.
Oh, I just realized Slippery Peter and Tatanika are on a mission together.
Again.
Oh,
Oh.
right.
Oh yeah.
So as you ride up, and I think having, or actually, let's say having launched the flare, this is the first time where you've actually had a
Probably
moment to
it
stop.
probably launched low.
Sure,
Right,
sure,
right.
but you have to get it high enough that they can see it. Right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the point.
But not like
So,
straight up. Hey, everyone.
Here, come find
Sure.
us.
Right.
I think this is the first minute that you haven't been like sprinting headlong, galloping headlong on horses. So I think there's a moment while you're waiting for some type of response, trying to keep a keen eye out for that, where Slippery Peter maybe realizes that Tatanika is here, or maybe the opposite.
Remind me of their history, because I forgot.
Seriously?
Yeah, actually.
When Slippery Peter was like, maybe I've been too mean to you and rookies, and she was like, I hope I don't turn out like a wimpy.
I
scared
forgot
person
that.
like you.
I forgot that was Peter. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had a little bit of a rivalry on the first mission to rescue the commander, because Tatanika didn't like how insensitive Peter was towards like the casualties. And she didn't understand that. And then when they got back from the second mission, she kind of gave him the hard brush off.
And they saved each other in battle too.
Yes. Yeah.
Tatsunika helped Slippery Peter during the fighting retreat, and Slippery Peter then helped Tatsunika stay on her horse when she passed out from an adrenaline dump. So they have a very complicated relationship.
Yeah. But it does seem like you've come round to my way thinking about things.
Oh God.
I knew you would.
Slippery Peter's from Texas now?
You gotta switch it up, mate.
I think Tatsunika's like, yep, sure thing, Pete. Your way of doing things. That's what we're doing here.
Well, certainly not doing it Ananika's way. Honornika's way.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Tatsunika just goes back to cleaning her nails with her blade.
Okay. Yeah, Peter just gives a little to his horse, trots on off. Got work to do.
All right. I like it. Little icy. Little business. No congratulations on getting promoted. I like that.
Of course not. Of course not. A promotion. That's a punishment.
Love it.
Yeah, and so with the flare up, there is you see just the faintest wisp of smoke start to rise from the edge of the trees. Like it's like a white smoke, sort of plenty of you. There's also a poniard with you. Like you would know this is like the smoke that would result from like starting a small fire and putting some dry leaves in it, like sort of signaling smoke, right? But just a little bit, very subtle, certainly more subtle than the flare. And as you kind of like get a look at it, I think, does Peter have a spyglass? Isn't that
Not in light load.
okay? Well, then I guess you'll have to get closer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that seems to be a pretty clear signal that, you know.
Can the fine luxury item that I have be a spyglass?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So Anika will pull out a spyglass
Cool.
from
Nice.
their jacket or her jacket.
Yep, and you can see you see one person, human, for sure,
Okay.
wearing the sort of tattered remains of a Bartan uniform, what do Bartan uniforms look like? Give me a
They're sort of like billowy pants. Like
Yeah, they
trousers.
wear a lot of flowy garments.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, and I think you can tell it was once richly hued, like richly dyed and hued and stuff. It is now like matted, worn, weathered, torn. Like you see, you can kind of take a look at this person, right? Like they're dirty, disheveled, right? Like clearly been basically under siege. But Bartan.
No weapons on them?
Yeah, definitely a weapon.
Okay. What are they doing? Just standing there?
They're carefully tending this fire. You can
Okay.
see like they're like sticking in like a handful of leaves and then like kind of taking a stick and like pulling leaves out, right? And like kind of watching the smoke, and then like kind of feeding it again so that the smoke stays low and isn't like wafting off too far, right? In the same kind of way that you try to signal low, they're trying to signal back in a subtle way. So this is the Bart. You found the corporal.
Yeah.
Like, let's take that out of the question.
Yeah.
This is the corporal.
Let's get him and get out.
Yep.
Let's stick her in a sack and get her out of here.
A sack. Wow. Move forward. I guess I'm gonna command us to go forward to the trees. And there's nothing I can see like that seems like this would be
Why
a
are they being
trap.
so careful?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if, like, I think Ananika would be kind of wondering, is there something suspicious about this?
So does somebody want to scout?
Oh yeah,
I was
scout.
just gonna say, if anyone wants to join Peter on a little reconnaissance.
And I mean, what is this like? Are you going to like kind of do a little bit of a ride around? Like, what does a scout look like?
Yeah,
what is,
I think that's basically it. Is he's gonna take not the straight line there, but like the roundabout path on higher ground to just get a better lay of the land.
Cool.
I guess he can just do it actually, unless anyone wants to join. 2 4s.
Okay, so that's a
oh wait, and actually, he's still nursing that undefined level 2 and level 3 harm. I think that affects his eyes, but he wants to like prove himself again. You know, like he didn't actually help break the line because he was like gonna go off to the side and like not charge straight through them like idiots.
Right.
Like the rest of you did, you know, like they got killed. But he is feeling a bit like, you know, I can't let Tatanika, who's not even a specialist, you know, like do better on this mission than me. And of course, he's also feeling a bit like angry because he is hurt, because he is a vengeful Orite who has potency when he is harm penalized.
Okay. So are you saying the harm affects you?
So actually, yeah, let's say the harm effects.
Okay, so then I think it has to be some type of head injury. Is the let's call the head injury is your level 2. And let's do for the level 3 something with your leg, which is neutralized while you're on a horse conveniently. But so like maybe it's like broken leg actually would be good. You could easily shatter a tibia or something.
Weren't both of his arms
Good.
broken at one point as well? For Peter.
Peter has spent a lot of time
Yeah,
in
he had-
infirmary.
Yeah.
He had a shoulder gash.
Uh-huh. He's actually he's really excited about potentially getting a mercy
Yeah, I
because
bet.
he really wants to hear their leg break.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
that's
So-
creepy.
let's take his level 3 harm as leg splint.
Cool. And then 2 is head injury.
Yep.
Nice. So I would have lost a die because of head injury, but it was still going to 4, so we're still at 4.
Cool. So that is and you're still in risky position, so you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer
Yes,
harm or complication.
and I have potency, so increased effect, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah. So potency on this is you definitely spot what it is to spot. I
don't like it.
That is as you kind of come around, and you're smart, right? You're not riding on the top of a ridge. You're kind of riding like sort of near the crown of a ridge, right? So that you're not foolish in this.
I mean, I'm on higher ground so I can see, but I'm not on the highest ground like in Moron.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with potency, you spot what there is to spot, which is an outrider who was, kind of camped, more or less watching this stand of trees, who is lightly armored, but definitely in the colors of the Black Oak Knights.
Would Ananika have, if Peter asked, lent him her spyglass, knowing who Peter is?
Because you're our scout, yes, Ananika
Okay.
would have handed it over to you.
So then, what can I see of the? Is there anything additionally that I can see through the spyglass of the knight?
Yeah, so that knight has a horse tied up. Again, like he's not taking great lengths to hide himself, but he's also not being extremely obvious, right? So you didn't see him riding up, but now as you kind of moved around, you are seeing where he is. He is basically like very lightly camped, and he seems to be a watcher for a larger force, obviously, because when he sees the smoke, he has kind of stood up. He also has a spyglass that is taking a look at it. He's looking in the same direction.
I wish we had a sniper.
And yeah, so he turns onto his horse, and or actually in a saddlebag of his horse, and pulls a what looks like a bugle, like a trumpet, and you hear a horn like kind of echo out over the plains. Sorry, that was really loud.
It was a good horn. I was very impressed.
It was a really good horn. Good Foley work.
Mm-mm.
Second career.
Okay.
So I'm assuming we watched Peter go off. Did we see him and did we hear the horn?
Oh, you heard the horn back at the group.
So how does channels work exactly with Officer? I can use it to spend to get an asset.
Yeah, so basically, like, the idea of channels is you know people, you have connections, like, you can get things either off book or a little bit, like, outside of mission profile that
Okay.
would be useful, that otherwise the quartermaster would not issue. Or if the quartermaster wouldn't issue it, like, you might be able to get it through, like, an officer's club or borrow it from another regiment or some contact that you have in the town that you're in. So basically,
Okay.
like, what's the item you're looking for? This gives you kind of a free flashback to acquire that item.
Okay. I'm trying to think of tactically what would be good for us to have right now to pick off these potential
Horses.
gun. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I could like I Ananika feels Slippery Peter's internal I wish we had a sniper. It would have been nice to have a sniper. And
It's
maybe
always
get
nice
us
to have a
like
sniper.
maybe like some sniper rifles or something like that to help us with like picking them off from a distance so we don't have to get into close combat.
Are bows and arrows a thing here? Because they're
So
quiet.
yes,
Peter
totally.
has bows and arrows.
Against
Okay.
undead, yeah.
But
Oh.
I would like to supply a lot of us with that.
So yeah, you could totally do that. Before you do that, so
Sure.
You hear that, Slippery Peter. I think your reaction would naturally be to move your spyglass towards that, and then back to the grove, right, and sort of follow what's happening. You see the Bartan kind of looks down, and then like kind of dashes out the fire and retreats into the woods a little bit. You can still actually kind of see her in the shadow of the wood, but is sort of ducking back in. And in 30 seconds, a minute, something like that, you start to hear like kind of that rolling, thunderous sound of hoofbeats.
He's heading back as quickly as possible to regroup.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of the group doesn't take you a whole lot longer to hear those hoofbeats as well. You're a little bit further away, but I think you recognize them now that you're on alert as well. So here is the sort of choice that we have here. Obviously, they are making an attack on this grove. How are you responding to that?
How far away are we? Could we ride hard and get to the grove and try and get them out in time?
Sorry, the other complication, because I didn't give you the complication. You saw that was the success. The complication is, after he blows the horn, he takes a look at you as well, Pete. And you see the glint of the spyglass as it has been turned on you.
He flips a middle finger.
Perfect. So I think you are risky, and you are not going to be able to get out of here without a fight. That's basically your complication there. So
and there is no doubt that everyone heard that horn, right? Like Peter's not concerned that they don't know what's coming.
It was loud enough, yeah.
Okay, all right.
And you would gather from the sound from like where you are now, like you're gathering there over the next ridge sort of thing, right? Is like where that's coming from. So someplace further beyond. So think of it as like that fire is like the corner, and at a right angle are them, and at a right angle are you. So you're kind of coming in, like if you were both to charge directly at that fire from your two groups, you were basically perpendicular to each other.
Responsibility of
brain.
command.
Yeah, Ananika, it is what risk are you taking here? Are you letting them charge in, or are you going to try to beat them there?
Okay.
Peter will be able to join you either way. He'll be able to adapt and figure it out. That's not a concern. You'll be grouped up. But are you moving or are you waiting?
We should move. So the plan is, this is on, I don't know, Shane, you can help me out with this. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to flashback or something to help us out with the situation, because this is what my idea is. I want us to charge in, get everybody out, and then just like, are they going into the grove? Like, can I tell that they're going to be riding into the grove, or it's all going to be fighting on the outside? Because my thing is like, burn the grove down with everybody, like all of them in it. But I don't know if that's possible. No, not the Bartans.
I love it.
No,
I love it.
I want to get them
it.
out. I want the black oaks to go in, and then as we're getting people out. So
more Poniard tears.
So I think if you are willing to wait to see what they do, you will be in a desperate position in reacting, but you will know what their approach is going to be. You will have time to react, but you will be desperate.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Anaki will hold. I want to see what they do.
Right. So by the time they ride into view, they are, halfway there. Like they're, they have closed the distance. They're much closer than you are. But you can see they are carrying rifles, it would seem.
Okay.
So they are you're an officer,
Yeah.
right? Like, it sure seems like this is not that deep of a grove that if they have a good idea of where they are inside, rifles will do the trick, right? Like, if you shoot enough shot in there, you will eventually just wear them down. And that seems to be what it is. They seem to know where one of them is, so they're going to ride in and salvo through the forest. They are also, of course, they are knights. They are carrying their spears. So you see those just sort of mounted on saddles upright rather than in hand. But you see they are carrying in hand all carbines.
Okay, so this is what I want to happen. So Ananika turns back to the group, and she's going to separate out. We're going to split into two. One's going to go around. The other two are going to, the group that I'm leading, to go towards where the Black Oaks are going, or the Black Knights are going, and we're going to shoot into where they're going. And then I'm hoping, I want the other squad to get the Bartans out, the Bartan corporal and the other people out from the other side.
Okay. So which one are you going to lead?
The one charging into the fight. Okay. And then I want the other, maybe Slippery Peter, once he gets back around to us. Who else is here? It's
the Ember Wolves and the Shattered Lions.
Yeah, we got Leonin too.
And I want Leonin and Slippery Peter to go that way, and then Tatanika, you're coming with me.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's the plan. And then move.
Cool. All right, so let's get the let's start with the firmest part of the plan, which is attack those knights.
Yes.
You are in desperate position.
Okay. So how can I do this as like a martial action?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Because you're leading the rookies, and then who else is going to join?
Tatanika's with me as a soldier.
I'm there.
Okay.
Which will be interesting to see how this plays out, if she listens to me or not. So I'm kind of banking on she'll go crazy. So, all right. So martial, I'm loyal. So if this is a group action, I get +1 as well, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So desperate effect.
Standard.
Okay. 1 extra die.
Wait, mark XP.
4 and 3.
And a 4 for the rookies.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So make sure you mark XP because you rolled a desperate action.
Got it.
Sally.
Desperate. I have 0 dice.
Ooh.
4.
Yes.
Ooh.
Still 4.
So it's a 4. Okay. So make sure you mark XP as well, Sally.
Okay. I was doing martial, right? Is that what I was?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, desperate, you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer severe harm. A serious complication occurs. So severe harm is, like you ride out, sort of like ride in. They see the grove. They turn towards you, and this is a gunfight on horseback. So you get the shot off. But they also get a salvo off, and we're gonna see who's left standing. This is like Civil War style.
I was gonna say I wanted to use my channels and get fire arrows or something to catch them on fire. I didn't do that, but anyway.
Okay, it's all right. So you got the 4, which is I think your scale will neutralize, and let's see between you and Tatanika, and then who else is in that group?
I think we took the Shattered Lions, and then I sent the other one with the other group.
Okay,
so
that means Adhikar was in that group as well.
Wait.
Oh wait, yes.
I think maybe you took the. If I'm with you, you took the Ember. Although you sent me in with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's your call.
Well, either way, that means there's a soldier.
In both.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going back to Sally because you're the one that. What group would be best for just fighting head on?
That's
the Shattered Lions are bodyguards, right?
Literally what both of them do.
Okay, let's just go Shattered Lions.
Okay, cool. So I think you've got 3 soldiers, 4 rookies. You have scale. I'm going to say you're fighting at threat 2.
Okay.
Because you have enough soldiers to make that the effect. Also, you had a good day of training.
Yes.
So that will be 2 harm and your scale and your threat against threat 2. So that will actually all just go through. So we will get our knight's clock. Sorry. So that is 2 ticks on their clock, which is an 8 clock. As you get that first salvo in, they are going to hit back, unfortunately, pretty hard. In the same way that your equivalent in scale and threat, they do, because you're desperate, they do severe harm. So they got the first shot off. That's going to be level 3 harm at everybody who participated.
Oh God.
So
Ouch.
Annika, what are you doing?
Resist.
I'm resisting.
a lot
yeah.
of you have. So Sally, you should have fine heavy armor as well.
Yeah, I have 2 armor uses I
and
can use.
maybe
Some of you
fine
may have
because
shields.
it's fine. Doesn't that reduce the level of harm as well?
I think it's
Or the
I
potency?
think it's 2. I think it
provides-
has 2 uses.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Plus maybe a shield. I don't think Tatanika has a shield, but I think Ananika does.
All normal weapons.
Oh yeah.
and-
Did you take the fine heavy weapon or the fine shield?
I took the fine heavy weapon on Forge.
Oh.
So
So you should add more potency for attacks, right?
I mean, resist first if you're going to, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess you could spend.
oh, you
armor
just
and
spend the
maybe there's
armor and
nothing
not
else,
risk
yeah.
getting the stress.
Okay.
Yeah, spend the armor first for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But keep in mind, somebody is going to have to resist on behalf of the rookies, or you're going to lose 3 of them.
Oh Lord. What resistance would you need us to use? Resolve.
I mean, that's like a protect, right? So you
Proud.
jump in and take it. So it's just
Uh,
applied to you.
It could be. I could see resolve,
Mhm.
or what's the physical one?
Prowess.
prowess. I
prowess.
have a +1 to resolve resist.
Yeah, I mean, I think resolve, like, if it's resolve, that is hold the line, right? Like,
Yeah.
you take the shots, you lose somebody, but you hold the line and do your job.
I like
know.
this. Which one, Ananika or Tatanika, is going to like resolve them into holding the line?
Yeah, good question.
Oh man, you can't let Tatanika, like,
Oh my god, she would totally do it. She's
no, but then that takes away Ananika's, like,
which is why I set up the situation for story.
if Tatanika leads them, then that totally, like, that's bad. You don't want crazy person gaining followers among the people.
She's not that big of a liability. She's
Yeah.
a little
Disagree,
reckless.
disagree.
Yeah, hard.
Tell that
disagree.
to Bloss, whatever.
okay. I didn't. Tatsunika didn't really slit his throat. That was a joke.
Oh.
He died honorably in battle of
Okay.
his own accord. I don't know. Yeah, I think Tatanika would do it. And for all we know, Ananika thinks it's like good leadership to develop, to let soldiers exercise their autonomy.
Who knows?
All right, who's doing it? We
Why
just
did
need
I
a
bring
decision.
you? Yeah. I mean, 3, 2, 1. Anika is like, oh no, started to question herself and hesitates. So I think Tatanika would be the one potentially you could do it.
Cool. Do I need to deal with my harm first? Like, do we need to resolve that first?
Oh, so you took harm?
I took a level 3 harm, but I want to. So I can use my armor. How do I use my armor to resist that?
So you just check the box for your armor, and every box of armor that you check to resist it just reduces it by 1.
But I don't
So-
have a. Okay.
Below blight,
so-
next to harm.
And you're rolling heavy, so you both have fine
Yeah,
armor.
so you have that special tick as well for heavy.
Not seeing it. Oh, okay. I see.
you-
Yeah, it's right
Okay.
below trauma and blight.
Got it.
There's armor, heavy, shield, special.
Got it.
So, oh yeah, so so Azure has armor, so just the 1 tick, no heavy.
Azure?
Ananika?
Or sorry, I'm looking at Azure, which is the wrong person.
Yeah. She
never
has
mind.
fun. They
Withdraw.
both have fine heavy armor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay,
that
cool.
special box is
Yep.
in play as well.
So you can reduce it fully if you spend armor, like your 2 of your armor and your shield. Like you can just reduce it
Okay.
to 0.
If you have a shield, yeah.
Yep, I got it. I'm not. I mean, I can't take any more head trauma.
Sure.
I don't
Okay.
have a shield, so
Okay, so
Okay.
you'll take a
you
level,
take level
1
1
harm.
harm.
okay. And I ignore level 1 harm penalty, so that's good.
Right.
Okay, cool. So that will be grazed.
Okay. Let me take a bullet for these rookies.
Yep.
It's only fair. That one
Right?
guy took 8 spears for you.
That was
5.
5.
So you'll take 1 stress to resist. That will reduce it by 1, so 2 of them will die.
God, that's brutal. That can't be resisted further, huh?
I think multiple people can take protect. So if at that point, like, you would have like if that would spur Ananika into also action, then I
yeah.
think you can both protect them.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, in the moment of hesitation, Tatanik does that, but then it snaps Ananika to her senses and will also roll. We're doing resolve, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. 625.
6. Okay, cool. So you actually take no stress from that,
Okay.
which is cool. Let's see what the rest of you are doing, as we are now in a pitched gunfight on horseback on one side. What are the rest of you doing?
Do you want to lead a maneuver act? Do you have maneuver, my good
Only one
friend?
do-
All right, I have 2. So I'll lead a maneuver to just ride as hard and as fast as possible to get to the Bartans just like as fast as possible to try.
Lenon's a soldier now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Peter's like Lenon's like, follow me, and Peter's like, all right, yeah. You're gonna take point, all right.
Okay, cool. So cool. Yeah. Let's roll that maneuver. You want a group maneuver?
Yeah,
Is that
I
the
have
idea?
the stress that I could take it
Okay.
if need be.
All right, and you are leading the Ember Wolves, right?
Yes.
Cool. So I will roll for them. I-Hsien, you should also roll maneuver.
4.
Okay. This is risky, or are we in desperate too?
I think it's
This
all
group is-
desperate.
this is
I think it's all
desperate as well?
desperate.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh,
So you guys both take XP.
Yeah. 5.
Okay, so the high roll is a 6.
Oh, nice. Good job, rookies.
And it doesn't look like we have any 3s because the rookies rolled a 4 and Leonin rolled a 5.
Nice. No stress.
Right. Yeah, because Leonin does have this, right? That wasn't rolling 0.
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have maneuver and I have an extra tick because I'm on a horse.
Okay, cool. Oh wait, so we said that we need Peter to roll. Sorry.
he did.
He
Got
did.
4.
He got a 4.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All good. All right, so you are able to kind of maneuver around, and I think Peter, your addition to this is that you know what you're kind of doing the scouting as you're running, right? So the horses are riding, you're getting their attention, you spot them and sort of point Leonin in, and it's a 6 on the desperate, so you do it. There is no consequence, and you see one of the Bartans again, like, comes to the edge of the trees and meets you, and shouts, "Who are you? What are you doing here? Who sent you?"
We're the Corps Undying. We're here to save you.
Peter sort of like hoists the double barrel flare gun and is like, "What do you think, idiots?"
He says, "We've got wounded."
Lave them.
No. They can ride on the back. Everyone has to ride on the back of these horses, so we'll try and move them as carefully as possible, but time is of the essence, and I point
Welcome
towards
to the Corps Undying. Lave them.
I point towards the gunfight, and I'm like,
There's 7 of us.
there's 7 of you. How many of them? Okay, how many of us are there? There's only 5 of us, right?
Well, I think there's 6 of you that rode up, and
Yeah.
So we've got 3 wounded.
Sorry, briefly. What are the parameters of success in the mission?
You need to get them out.
All of them, or just the Bartan?
Well, put it this way: you
Oh,
don't get
good.
all
Well,
the
these
soldiers.
are the soldiers we're recruiting. Okay,
You
okay.
don't get all the soldiers
Okay,
if you don't
yeah,
get them out. Yeah. So you need to get at least 4 soldiers out, and the corporal, who you have not met yet.
All right, I'm gonna immediately pop a scrounge and basically like find tree branches, and like the tools and materials that we need in order to basically make like splints and like sleds essentially to like attach to the horses to drag.
Oh,
Great idea.
flashback.
Can I-
Flashback.
Well, he
I,
has his ability. Oh, yeah.
Can I make
Tatanika packed a medic kit
Nice.
with antiseptic slings, sutures, poultices, gauze, spent for
Oh.
special armor against disease and wound complication, 3 uses. Could we have a flashback where
So you actually can take that under light. You got to find kit and you choose one.
No, hang on. I think the flashback is giving you that kit, right?
yeah, giving it to
Yeah.
Slippery
Oh,
Peter.
giving it to me
Yeah.
or him?
I think
He's not giving the spyglass or the med kit.
Tatanika is gonna
These are his
Tatanika like before Ananika tells us to go in these 2 separate like missions. Tatanika like is like, "Hey Pete," and tosses it and is like, "Don't mess this up."
He like examines it, right? Sees that it's pretty nice, and he's just like, "I hope I'm never so soft," and just rides off.
Can I make a
burn.
suggestion for Ananika? Because
Okay.
you've been looking for something to do with your channels.
Yes.
What if you have extra horses?
Oh, yes, please. God. More horses.
So that they, like you've had like horses tied up running alongside you, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Knowing that you would need to make a quick escape on horseback.
Gotcha. Yes. Maybe I talked to somebody in Eastlake who had some horses, like a farmer who had horses, and somehow I bartered with him.
I think a farmer probably has mules, which is almost as good. So yeah, cool.
Yes,
You've
sir.
got,
I
some-
got
you've got a few
mules.
mules.
Nice.
All right.
Less good for riding into combat, better for carrying wounded.
There we go.
Mhm.
We got some
Okay.
mules.
Um,
Whew. Do I
okay.
need to roll for that or anything? No.
No,
Just-
you just spend it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
With channels, you roll sway to determine the quality, but I don't think that matters.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think you
that's
can
fine.
fail. That's a very low quality asset.
I just get really jacked mules.
Yeah.
Super strong, super fast.
Okay. So I think what you need is I think you guys need to sway them, right? Like you need to get them moving right now. Like or you need to do something or martial or discipline or something, but like you need to get this person who is probably a little shell shocked moving and getting the corporal's group, like the war band, going.
I have no points in sway.
Slippery Peter has 1.
It could be. I mean, I don't. You have other skills.
He
or
can
other
also
actions, right?
push.
Yeah.
Also that.
Can
Mhm.
I
You could shoot.
can I assist by being like, we're in the middle of a fight and point to the gunfight happening in the distance?
Totally.
There's no time for this. So I'll spend
Totally.
a stress to give you another die.
All right, Pete pushes for an extra die.
Cool.
I think. So we're rocking 3 dies, and then I don't think the head injury is gonna affect. So I'm not vengeful right now. All right. Yeah. So Pete nods over toward Leonin. I was like, "Yeah, you hear that? You hear that outside? They're coming for you, and I'm happy to leave you. I'll leave right now. I'll shoot you right now, so it don't hurt nearly as much. But
You saying that to me?
no, to them.
Oh, you
Wait,
said
I-
Leonin.
But what? Yeah, I know, but we're safe in here.
You think you're safe? You see how many You see how many of those knights are coming?
Roll it. Let's see what happens.
You know what I seen? I seen knights with big holes in their armor and no hearts. But they're coming for you. Let's take your chances with my crazy friend. 3, a 5, and a 6.
Hey.
Nice. Yay.
Okay, he's like, yeah, okay. I'll go. Yeah, I'll go get the corporal. Can you guys help? Can you help us move the wounded?
He points at his leg. Nah.
Yeah, I get off my horse and I go,
well-
okay, what do you need?
I think the rookies will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They can help.
Okay, so they hop down. Who this is?
Oh, he'll toss the med kit down though to one of the rookies.
Okay, so I think that's going to go to. Theonin was the one who took the rage venom, right?
Yes. Oh no, does he have ghost rage?
Well, okay, so Prinkips Imeta Albrecht is a Orite who helped Azure carry the box out of the fight.
Oh.
All right.
So I think he will take the med kit because I think he's proven to be rather dutiful.
Great. And Pete tosses it to him, points at him, is like, "Take care of that. It's mine.
Yeah.
Been in my family for generations. Tell everyone."
He just rolls his eyes and turns to the Bartan soldier and is like, "All right, lead the way. We'll get them." And you hear at this point another horn sounding from the far side of the grove. And as we cut back to this gunfight that's happening over there, maybe something will happen. So, what are we doing on the gunfight? I'll tell you what they're doing in the gunfight. They are hoisting themselves back up in the saddles, like looking around at their wounds, and reloading.
Yeah.
On the like, kind of at a half gallop.
Okay. I'm trying to do I want to be able to do an area effect on because I'm assuming that they're kind of together. This is very rank and file sort of. Okay, so yeah, I would like to either flashback or use channels again, in order to do some sort of area effect, like fire, like I said, getting arrows or that we can shoot into them and with oil dipped arrows.
Well, we've done alchemical flask before.
Okay, yeah, I would like to flashback, or if I can use channels to get that.
Yep.
What would you want me to do?
I roll channels and we'll see what you get.
Okay, so that's just a sway. Sorry. 5, 4.
Okay. So I think that's good enough because that'll get you standard quality. So I think you have a few of these vials, or flasks probably. You're not exactly trained in how to use them.
No.
Because you're not a grenader.
No.
Or a grenadier, rather. But you know which way to throw it.
Right. I would like to throw this. Start by shooting or maneuvering, or what would you?
I feel like this is a desperate shoot.
Oh God.
And I don't think this is something that you can lead the rookies through.
No.
I think this just has to be you.
Yeah, so Alanika rides forward just far enough away to get hopefully position herself better, but this is for flavor. Could I push? I'm gonna push myself for an extra die.
Do it.
I don't have
Devil's bargain.
Yeah, can I hear a devil's bargain?
Also, I could try to set something up for you. I just don't know what it would be.
I think the best thing to do with this setup would be to improve your position.
Yeah.
Right? Like, get out of the desperate is the big problem you have.
Right, because then it's level 2 harm.
Right.
Yeah.
But your, armor and stress are mounting, so.
Yeah. Shit. I don't know how I would get out of a desperate position, unless you guys could distract them somehow.
What's the desperation of the situation at the moment?
It's just that you're in desperate position because you're basically kind of in the open field at the edge of this grove, and you're just on horseback shooting at each other, right? Like there's no cover, there's nothing. You are like.
Sorry, does anyone look like they're in charge of the other dudes?
Yeah, definitely. Like there's somebody with a pistol and a saber, right? Who is like calling out the reload and pointing and that sort of thing.
Okay, I mean Tatsuni could charge that guy
To my ear. Yeah, I mean,
and cause like a
perfect.
distraction.
That's
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That'll get you because they will not be as organized, and that will get you out of desperate position.
okay.
And it won't necessarily break them up.
Yeah.
So yeah, do it, Tatsunika. This is
All right.
your move.
Is this over the top?
Yeah, this is an over the top.
Sweet. Okay. Maybe I'll also push myself.
For effect or a die?
Die.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3 dice. So this is desperate.
This is desperate.
Effect is standard. Bonus dice is 2. 5.
5. Okay. So it's partial success. So you do get out of the risky position. You are charging in and engaged with the we'll call him the captain. And like what does Tatsunika use as a melee weapon?
A saber.
Okay, so it is literally the proverbial clattering of sabers, right? As you charge in and like you kind of whirl around with one swing, and he kind of casts it aside, and you swing back around, and he bats it aside with his pistol, and you guys are now kind of engaged. So there's a consequence: suffer harm, complication occurs. You have reduced effect. You end up in a desperate position. I don't think desperate position is very fair. So I'm going to say that let's just go with harm. Like that's just straightforward. Okay. So this will be a level 2 harm because it's really only one guy that you're charging into.
Okay.
And yeah, so it'll be. Oh, actually, no. The complication is that you're going to be unhorsed.
Okay.
You'll be on foot.
Cool.
You could resist that if you would like.
But then Slippery Peter won't be able to swoop in, and you'll jump on the back of his horse, and he'll save you.
And then he can push her off.
It's a like a prowess resist.
Yeah, I think prowess would work.
Yeah, I guess I may as well. Okay. 6.
Hey.
Nice. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So what happens here is like he has the advantage because he has this pistol, right? That you have to be careful of because if he just gets that lined up, he's going to shoot you, and that's going to be real bad. But because of that, he is able to kind of like get that swung around, and he kind of like clocks you, like right across the like face with the pistol, like in a sort of a pistol whip, and you go rearing back. Like the world kind of spins on you. You see stars briefly, and you just have just enough presence of mind to like kind of roll in the saddle so that the saber slash doesn't come down on you, and then hold the reins and kind of get back as you are still engaged with him.
Nice.
None the worse for wear because helmets. Okay, Amber, you are now in a risky position, which is a much better position for you.
Okay.
Throwing this fire with which you are only lightly trained.
You know what? Desperate times. And also not used to playing an officer. Okay, so that is a shoot.
Yep.
Risky.
Yep.
I pushed myself for an extra die. Standard effect. Did I Devil's Bargain?
It's gonna be
For an extra.
harm.
You hit Tatanika.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. which is fine.
Now wait a second.
Yeah, no, I'll take that. That Tatanika
damn
is
it.
in the result. That would be the devil's bargain. You can choose to not take the devil's bargain.
No, I'm taking it.
She's got armor still.
Only fair.
She's really good at resisting prowess, so.
I rolled a shoot and I got a 6.
Okay.
Woo!
Cool. So
6, 1, 2.
You fucking nail Tatanika.
No, what?
Devil's bargain.
Right between the eyes.
Oh,
with a
jeez.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is basically like what the fire does is give you potency, and I think that will negate the scale. Like normally you'd have a scale disadvantage. It will negate the scale as well because they are kind of set up. But as a result, you are of course also getting Tatanika in it. So that will be the standard effect for risky.
Okay.
So that's 2, and then +1 for potent, so that's 3. Sally, Tatanika is also taking level 3 harm,
Sweet.
which you
Bullet
may resist.
right between the eyes. Yeah. God. So how do I resist that? So I don't have armor. It's just like a prowess resist.
Prowess will reduce it to it'll reduce it by 1.
By
Or
1 meaning it
resolve.
would go to.
It would
level.
become a level 2 harm.
Okay. Yeah. I can do resolve.
I feel like it's because it's fire. Like what resolve is doing your job while burning.
I mean, insight might also let her like see it coming and be like, "Oh, I should probably try not to get caught in the entire
Especially as
blast."
I was, because like I was
I don't know if
literally
insight's
holding those
helpful.
alchemical
I don't know. Yeah,
vials earlier.
I
The
will
reason
accept any of them.
Okay,
That's-
good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose resolve because I have 4 dice in it.
God.
At 10-15, that is the right choice.
Oh my God, Tatanika.
Okay, so that is
Sorry,
just
that's
level 2 harm.
actually okay. Good. Yeah, I rolled an extra die by mistake, but
That's fine. We'll
that's
take
the
out the
last
4.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Declare, she got a 6.
Right. It is a 6, so that means you take 0 stress. You will take the level 2 harm,
Cool.
unless you have armor.
I used it
Okay.
all up.
Cool.
So I'll just say I got shot somewhere.
No, I think that one is scorched.
Oh right, it's fire. Yeah.
And with that, the knights will take one last round of pot shots at the rookie, at the group of rookies. That will be level 1 harm at the rookies. If you guys would like to jump in and
Yeah, I
prevent
can.
Does that kill them?
It will kill a rookie. Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
I can roll a shoot a resolve.
Cool.
Or yeah, I'll do that.
Duck, you fools!
And you take 0. Wow.
Nice.
Okay, so you rolled
3-1.
a 6. Cool. So that's 0 harm for the rookies and 0 strain for you because you guys are really good at resisting. And with that, like kind of final shot, many of them literally like boiling inside their armor, they start to kind of fall back, and this group of knights actually like begins retreating, which is about the time that you hear that horn from the other side, and the galloping of hoofbeats coming from the other side of the grove. And I think it is 10:15. We are actually going to stop in the middle of mission phase this time, and find out what happens next week.
Oh.
Stressful mission.
Stressful mission. We're not
Literally.
even done yet. Okay, cool. Thank you, Shane. Thank
welcome.
you, players. Thank you, Amber, for making this work from your hotel room. Very much
Yes.
appreciated.
Yeah. Thanks, Amber.
No problem.
So, Shane, where can people find you online if they would like to follow you?
You can find me on the Total Party Thrill podcast at totalpartythrill.com or on Twitter at Mundangerous. That's MUN Dangerous.
Amber, where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at RocketOrca or on my website at rocketorca.com. And also, you can follow my podcast at geekspective.com.
I-Hsien.
Yeah, you can also find me at Total Party Thrill or on Twitter at EvilSenseCarne. Malice minus meat.
Meat minus murder. No,
Plus murder.
plus murder. And Sally, hi. Where can people find
Hi.
you online?
Follow me on Twitter at Sally T. Listen to my podcast, The Struggle Bus, and also my crossover podcast with Total Party Thrill. Total Party Struggle Bus.
Total Party Struggle Bus. I gotta be honest. Name can use some punch up. I gotta be honest.
We'll workshop it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It's an opening bid.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter at Rudy Basso. Be sure to check out Don't Split the Podcast Network for lots of great shows. On Monday, we're going to play Stardew Valley, and I think a bunch of maybe people from here will be there. Maybe not, but check that out. There'll be an announcement on Twitter. Stardew Valley is great, and we'll be talking about role-playing games while we play. What a fun combination.
Nice.
Yeah. That's it. We'll be back next week at 7 o'clock, just like this week, and we'll get these Bartans out of this forest, and everyone will survive, and it'll be great.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We
All right.
play to find out.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.